Joining us here on Fox Local. Thanks for joining our news conversation. We have a lot to talk about today, especially the World Cup. Everyone's talking about it. It's officially here, and the match here in Atlanta is underway, and we'll talk about that soon. But first, let's talk Iran. So the peace deal between the U.S. and Iran comes just in time for the Iranian national team to make its FIFA World Cup 2026 debut. They'll face off against New Zealand and Los Angeles tonight, and that's where we'll find Fox's Rebecca Castor, who's been following this, especially how Iranian Americans are feeling about not only seeing their team play on U.S. soil, but also the potential new chapter for their home country. Rebecca, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Hi, Jasmine. Many people might not know this, but Los Angeles is often nicknamed Tehrangeles because it's home to the largest Iranian population outside Iran. It's where many Iranian families fled during the revolution. And we got to speak with a lot of Iranian soccer fans over the weekend, and they just told us that there are mixed feelings about whether to cheer for Iran during this World Cup. Some people see the Iranian team as an extension of the regime, and they don't want them to be victorious on the world stage, while others are trying to put the politics aside. They want to take pride in their home country and what it could be, especially now that this peace deal is coming along. And they're excited to see the Iranian team actually be allowed to play here on U.S. soil, and they're ready to cheer on these players that have made it to the highest level in their sport.
I am glad to hear, Rebecca, that they're excited to cheer on Iranian players here. Can you walk us through some of the obstacles this team has had to overcome on and off the field?
Yeah, the journey to the World Cup for the Iranian team has not been an easy one. A lot of these players play for the Persian Gulf League, which ended on February 28th when the war broke out. So a lot of these players haven't played in a real game in quite some time. And then once the war broke out, a lot of changes had to be made, and more restrictions were put on the Iranian team during this World Cup. Originally, they were planning to hold their training camp in Tucson, Arizona. That got changed to Tijuana, Mexico. And U.S. officials are limiting the time that the Iranian players are allowed to be here on U.S. soil. They were not allowed entry into the U.S. until last night, just one day before their first match. And while some Iranian Federation officials, some of the football federation officials, their visas were denied, all of the players and coaches were successfully granted entry. So they are here in the U.S. They started training on U.S. soil yesterday, and we'll see them face off against New Zealand later this evening.
And now, Rebecca, how have expectations for this team changed compared to previous World Cups?
Right, so this year Iran is ranked 20th on the FIFA World Cup rankings. That's just 3 below the U.S., which sits at 17. It's an experienced team. Half of the roster played in the 2022 World Cup, so they have a lot of veterans on the field there. They are missing, though, their best striker. He was reportedly left off of the team because of a social media post that he made that angered Iranian officials, so that will definitely be a handicap for this team. They are expected to win their game tonight against New Zealand. New Zealand is actually the lowest ranked team playing in the World Cup, so we should see them win tonight. And Jasmine, there is a chance we could see the U.S. and Iran face off in this tournament. If they both finish second in their group, that means that they will play each other on July 3rd in Arlington, Texas, outside of Dallas, which would definitely be a really highly charged match, of course, with a lot more at stake than just a soccer game.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up there. It will be very interesting if that does happen. But hopefully, you know, everyone could put their differences aside for the match if that does happen. Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us to talk about what's happening with Iran. And we look forward to your report later today after the match.
Bet.
All right, guys, so we're going to continue talking about the World Cup. Of course, Atlanta's first ever match underway. At last check, the score between Spain and Cabo Verde, both sitting at 0, but thousands of fans are packed at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, currently known as the Atlanta Stadium right now for the World Cup. Our Tyler Fingert is outside of the stadium, and Tyler, you've been outside getting reaction from people there, and, you know, it was like a a party at one point, right?
Yeah, Jasmine, good afternoon to you once again. It was truly like a party for the several hours leading up to the kickoff for this match. Spain versus Cabo Verde, as you mentioned, halftime right now, 0-0. But I have heard plenty of cheering from inside the stadium. From where we are, our vantage point, you can hear the roar of the crowd as they're getting close to making a goal, but so far, nothing of that sort. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see the final 45 minutes to see how all of this plays out. But there's a lot of excitement for this specific match, and the reason all comes down to the fact that Spain is really good and Cabo Verde has never played in a World Cup. In fact, they're actually the second smallest country in terms of landmass to ever actually be able to play in a World Cup. So those fans are incredibly excited. We talked to a number of them today, and they just were saying just the fact that they are even here is just a miracle, and they're just super excited. And they said no matter what the score turns out to be, they are just excited to be able to cheer on their team. Right now, things are quiet here. I mean, as you might imagine, everyone is inside enjoying the actual match. We've seen some security out here and about, making sure that the grounds throughout the Atlanta Stadium are safe and secure. We do see some police officers walking around, but obviously this was a far cry from what it was earlier, where we heard cheering and chanting. People had their flags of their countries draped around over their shoulders. They've had their different cheers they were doing, and people were just super excited to be here. And it wasn't just English you were hearing a number of languages. Obviously, Spain speaks Spanish, and Cabo Verde, their official language is Portuguese. So we were hearing that, and people just really happy to be here. A couple folks had never been here to the Atlanta area before, and they said that they're just happy to be able to take in our culture and everything that we have to offer. And just down from where we are, down on a lower level, if you're familiar with Atlanta Stadium, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, there's the Home Depot backyard. That has been transformed into a fan festival of sorts. Different activations are there. This is actually Coca-Cola giving out flags for Spain. If I can actually figure it out with the wind here. I feel like it's upside down. Let's see if my photographer Jim Zorn can help me out here and show it off. So they're handing out flags like this. Cabo Verde does not actually have one that they're giving out, but they are handing out this along with a regular Coca-Cola one.
Try this.
We're going to try this.
No, put your arm through it. I'll show you.
You're supposed to wear it. Okay. I didn't even try it on. Whoops, we're going to break it if I do this wrong. Come on. So I guess I'm repping Spain.
España! España!
I did not plan for this, and I am learning something new. I was just going to show it off for everyone. So they are handing out things like this. They're also selling a lot of merchandise that we are seeing out here. This is a pin that I was able to grab. This is for sale. Here, I'll hold it up so we can show folks what people are getting. I walked down to the fan store just down over close to where we are, and they've already sold out of some of the shirts. They have plenty of other available, but lots of people were in line earlier. Another fan activation, Bank of America handing out these types of little charm bracelets. This is I believe this is the USA charm bracelet, and there's even one for Atlanta that they're handing out. They're doing it over at the fan festival as well. So a lot of people taking in things like this. Obviously, there's just a lot of excitement for this specific match. So far, though, 0-0 in halftime. I believe the game just about to pick back up based off the cheering I'm hearing inside, Jasmine.
Tyler, you know, I love the flag that you're wearing. I think that's a pretty cool way to rep Spain there. So Spain expected to win here. Okay, yep. Go ahead, give us a turn.
I forgot. I'd give you a turn. I was also speaking so much, and I was so taken back that Jim Zorn was helping me put this little flag on, that we talked to some fans. I want you to take a listen to what they had to say.
It's my first time in Atlanta, believe it or not. I always wanted to come here, but I never had the chance. And right now, I was happy that it was here because I get to experience Atlanta. So far, I have no complaints. Everyone, it's been so nice, and people here are very friendly. And every time you walk, like everywhere you walk, people stop you, talking to you, and they're happy that we are here too.
It's my first World Cup. I live in Los Angeles, and I couldn't get a ticket for Los Angeles, but I'm here in Atlanta, and the people have been amazing. The city is spectacular. Everything they have done and they fixed for the World Cup is spectacular.
And we have heard that over and over and over and over again today, that people are loving what Atlanta is doing with us hosting this World Cup. This is the first of 8 matches, and then of course it all is all going to culminate on July 15th with a semifinal here at Atlanta Stadium. And if the atmosphere that we're sensing here right now, I can only imagine what that semifinal is going to feel like, Jasmine.
Absolutely, Tyler. It's been great talking to you. We'll check in with you a little bit later today. You have a lot of fun out there, and, keep talking to people. Thanks so much for joining us.
You bet.
And time right now is 1:10. We will continue our conversation around the World Cup later in this hour. But first, we do have some news headlines to talk about. So let's talk about what Fox 5 News is working on and bring in our assignment manager, Tanya Mendoza. And she has a look at those stories for us. Tanya, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jasmine. I'm not going to take much of your time, but I'm going to talk about some things that are important. Tomorrow is election day here in Georgia, so that's a big deal. We'll have our runoff election, and basically the voters are heading back to the poll for several high-profile primary runoffs. The Republican governor runoffs taking place, and we had some news with that today. Governor Brian Kemp getting behind candidate Burt Jones, and he's running against Rick Jackson, who is also expected to have some sort of press conference today with Ted Cruz. So that's going on right now with the governor's race. Deidre Dukes is covering that, and she'll have an update in general on the election and what people can expect tomorrow at the polls. I want to mention that the battle for the U.S. Senate is also taking place, and in the Republican U.S. Senate runoff, you will have U.S. Representative Mike Collins going head-to-head with former college football coach Derek Dooley, and we also have former President Donald Trump officially endorsing Mike Collins in that race. As far as the lieutenant governor's race, Greg Dolezal versus Nabila Parks and Josh McLaren and John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy and Greg Dolezal are the Republican candidates. We had an actual debate with them on Friday night. I don't know if you were able to see that, Jasmine, but they are running against each other, and then Nabila Parks and Josh McLaren on the Democratic side are running against each other. So we have all that going on. A lot on the election, and that's what Deidre is working on today. I think they said early voting numbers are in, and over 483,000 people voted either absentee or early. So that's what's going on with that. There's another story that I noticed on the Facebook page for the Gwinnett County Police Department. They posted it was from a chase that took place in April. We're trying to get more details as to where exactly that happened, but our Chris King is making phone calls on that, and let's look at this video. So it looked like a police officer noticed that a car was something suspicious about a car, started following the car. He noticed that there was a woman in the car, and she was screaming, and at one point she tried getting out of the car. They thought she was in danger. The person in the car, I believe his last name was Briones. He then tried to take off and almost ran over the woman. Fortunately, she was able to get out of the way. But the cops were following him. I think a taser he may have tried to deploy a taser or something. But anyway, this video is out there. We're trying to get more details. It's on the Gwinnett County Police Facebook page if you want to check it out before Chris King will have the full story later tonight.
Yes, Tanya, we're looking forward to these stories here, especially with the election happening tomorrow and hundreds of thousands of voters getting out to vote. A very important election, and we're keeping a close eye, like you said, on several races. But one more story that we're following today, the suspects. Atlanta police searching for multiple suspects here after the 12-year-old was shot. This was on Friday of last week. So we'll be covering that as well.
That's right. Okay, so last week, Friday night, I believe it was on Windsor Street, there was a shooting and a 12-year-old was shot. He was alert, conscious breathing, and was transported to the hospital. Sounds like he's okay right now. We're trying to get an update on that. Annie Mapp is out in that neighborhood trying to get more information because police are still looking for the suspects. And it sounds like the child that was shot was not an intended target. So she's trying to get more from police on that. I know that she's also talking to a community activist in the area about what happened, and she will have an update on that story later today.
All righty, that sounds good, Tanya. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll let you get back to work. Let's take a live look, guys, outside at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's being called the Atlanta Stadium for the World Cup, and people are literally inside right now watching the Spain versus Cabo Verde match. And right now, the score is still sitting at 0-0 for both. I'm able to look at that live. But we'll see what happens as a result of this match. In the meantime, let's talk weather here with our Greg Majeski. He's going to tell us, Greg, it's going to be nice today.
Yeah, we're staying dry for a change,
Staying dry,
and we get definitely less humidity out there for sure. I mean, we had a lot of 90s, and those feel like temperatures were pushing triple digits there for a while. We'll get a little bit of a break, so we'll enjoy it. We're also going to be hitting the drought here, I think, pretty decently, especially later in the week. So let's take a look at the latest drought index here across North Georgia. You can see that we've been chipping this thing away. We're only down to just a little bit extreme drought there across North Georgia. I think that'll be probably gone here on the next update as it comes our way, as we got rain chances that are going to be going up. Now, today's radar is quiet. We're going to stay that way here for today. Now, tomorrow, different story. This is a question of, okay, how far north of Interstate 20 are we going to get with the rain? That's the only question mark for tomorrow. I think the further south you go, better chance for rain. Further north you go, the drier it's going to be for tomorrow. That's only the question mark we got for tomorrow. But the rain chances are going to be spiking all over the place here, kind of depending on where you go. Now, this is the new model data just coming in here now, showing a spike for tomorrow in Atlanta. Again, how far north are we getting that rain? And it drops off on Wednesday, comes back up going into Thursday and Friday. And again, we just got that, looks like the weekend's looking all right. So today, at least, we're okay. Not looking bad. Temperatures low 80s, lower humidity, especially up in the North Georgia mountains. Pretty nice here. But then we're going to go ahead and bring the temperatures up here as the rain chances will spike going into Thursday and Friday. And depending on what develops in the Gulf and how that low moves inland or what kind of interaction it does, there's still a lot of variables out there right now as far as how much rain we're going to get. The potential for some heavy rain is definitely in the cards. We'll just have to see what develops here over the next day or so. But once we get into the weekend, I think the weekend's looking pretty good. Really not bad overall. So forecast again, we got the rain coming in here for tomorrow. Wednesday looks like it's more spotty with some scattered stuff here. So again, it's just a question of how far north are we going to get that rain threat here across North Georgia. But it looks like you'll need the umbrellas for tomorrow. Now, forecast today looking nice. Again, normal high 87. So when it's only 78 in Blairsville, you know, it feels, and a lot of 70s in the North Georgia area, that's going to feel pretty good. A little more humid down to the south, but a pleasant day overall. And then as we go for the next 7 days, again, seeing the rain models kind of spiking here for tomorrow, coming down on Wednesday, then coming back up on Thursday and Friday. We've got some wet weather. Needless to say, I think we're going to be continuing this pattern. We're chipping away at that drought, which has been with us basically since last fall. So again, it's continuing to improve, and if we continue at this rate we're going, I think by the time we get to July, we'll put that thing to bed. But hopefully we don't go from, hopefully we don't go from one extreme to the other. That's my only concern, is because of the strengthening El Nino. Does that mean we're going to stay wet, and do we go from, you know, where we start flooding lakes and rivers and stuff like that? Hopefully we don't go from that one extreme to the other. So
absolutely, hopefully we don't. But that is good news to hear from you, Greg, that by July we could see better conditions when it comes to the drought.
Yeah, the only thing for this week, obviously, we got the FIFA match going on right now, which is good weather today. But Thursdays, could be a little wet that day.
Okay, well, that's something to keep in mind if you're going to go to any of the matches.
Yep.
Yeah, so thanks, Greg, for joining us to talk about weather. And we're going to go ahead and get into some of our local headlines here. So this man on your screen, he's from Loganville. He'll spend the rest of his life behind bars. This after a Gwinnett County jury convicted him of murder, rape, and years of horrific child abuse that ultimately led to the death of his 10-year-old daughter. This is according to prosecutors. And do want to warn you that the details in the story are just terrible. So a jury in Lawrenceville found 51-year-old William Lynn McHugh guilty of felony murder, 2 counts of rape, 3 counts of aggravated child molestation, and 2 counts of incest. This is according to the Gwinnett County District Attorney's Office. And following the verdict on Thursday, a judge ordered McHugh to serve 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, followed by a 4th life sentence and an additional consecutive 120 years in prison. Now, the prosecution revealed a systematic pattern of torture where McHugh's children were beaten, forced to wear shock collars, and made to stand naked on cinder blocks for hours or days at a time. The children were never enrolled in school, they were never homeschooled, and they were forced to use buckets instead of toilets. A little bit more on the backstory here. So the severe abuse came to light on April 17th back in 2022 when emergency responders rushed to a house fire at the McHugh home in Loganville. McHugh's wife, Karina McHugh, rescued their 12-year-old and 8-year-old sons, but she could not reach their 10-year-old daughter. That young girl was sleeping in a locked bathroom with a piece of plywood over the bathtub as her bed, and her room lacked a window. She died from smoke inhalation. And during the trial, the jury learned that the couple's 15-year-old son intentionally started the fire to escape the constant abuse. What a sad story here. So District Attorney Patsy Austin Gatson expressed her profound grief and anger over the conditions the children endured under their parents' care. She said, quote, "The treatment of these kids was horrible. This child's death was preventable, and she and her siblings deserve better than they received from their parents," end quote. Officials have not yet stated if McHugh's defense team plans to file an immediate motion for a new trial or appeal the consecutive life sentences. It is also unknown where the State Department of Corrections will house McHugh to serve his time. A retired Atlanta police officer who was still serving as an active university officer was found dead in his own driveway on Saturday morning, prompting a Clayton County death investigation and his family demanding for justice. His relatives reportedly discovered blood inside the home. Emergency personnel rushed to the scene here on Upper Riverdale Road around 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and officers responded to the neighborhood after receiving that call regarding an unresponsive person. And when they arrived, first responders found the victim lying in the driveway of the home. Clayton County fire personnel officially pronounced the victim dead on scene, and it was family members who identified the victim as 61-year-old James Edward Sinkfield, retired Atlanta police officer. Relatives are demanding answers here, and they noted that Sinkfield was a well-known community member who spent years with the Atlanta Police Department and was still serving as a retired but active officer in South Georgia. And the family is deeply concerned, they say, about the circumstances surrounding his death because they found the blood throughout the home. So officials have not yet released any information here regarding the victim here. Family members only confirmed to Fox 5 that the victim is Sinkfield. Police have not released details regarding how the victim died or if they suspect foul play. And it also remains unclear how long the officer had been dead before emergency crews arrived. So we are looking for more confirmation from police in the story. This investigation does remain active and ongoing, and of course we'll keep you updated here on Fox Local and on our newscast as well, and continue to dig into this story. A man trying to pull himself out of a transit trackway died on Saturday morning after an oncoming MARTA train struck him. This was at the Civic Center station, and this is according to MARTA officials. So a MARTA police officer was riding this train around 10:43 Saturday morning when the operator announced over the intercom that a man was down on the tracks. And if you just think about being in this situation, that is so scary to hear. The operator coming over the intercom saying there's someone down on the tracks. The train operator spotted the man but could not stop the vehicle in time before the train struck him, and this is all according to the MARTA Police Department. Cruz immediately cut the power to the station's grid so firefighters and medics could rush to the scene and pull the man out. However, they could not get him out in time and confirmed that he died on scene. Investigators say the man arrived at the station approximately about 10:32 Saturday, and he sat on a granite strip on the platform before entering the northbound trackway by himself. And moments later, the man tried to climb back onto the platform but could not get up. And around 10:40 in the morning, the oncoming train hit him while he was actively trying to climb off the tracks onto the northbound platform. So several units with the MARTA Police Department here responded alongside a Grady EMS, city firefighters, and detectives confirmed they found no indication of foul play because evidence shows the man entered the trackway alone. And that was a big question over the weekend. We hadn't received this information here, but officials say they don't suspect that is foul play. Authorities have not yet released the identity of the victim here, but of course we'll update you as soon as we receive that information. Moving forward to this story here, some breaking news. Georgia Tech's president is resigning. So we have a statement here, and I'm going to read a little bit of this statement. So after leading Georgia Tech through one of the most successful periods in history, President Angel Cabrera has been selected to serve as the next president and CEO of the Aspen Institute. So one of the world's foremost organizations dedicated to leadership, dialogue, and addressing society's most pressing challenges. So Georgia Tech president, again, resigning, a new one coming in. The Aspen Institute's Board of Trustees voted today to appoint Cabrera to the role, recognizing a career dedicated to education, innovation, leadership, and service. So this is a story that we are following here. Georgia Tech celebrating his selection to this important national leadership role and the lasting impact of his presidency on the Institute. Cabrera plans to remain at Georgia Tech until November to support a smooth transition. The University System of Georgia will announce plans of Georgia Tech's new leader at a later date. So again, Georgia Tech President Cabrera is leaving, and he has been named the CEO of Aspen Institute. So that's the story here, and we'll continue to update you as we receive more details. Georgia Tech has not announced their new president, but of course, when we receive that information, we will bring that to you live on air and here on Fox Local. Time right now is 1:27. When we return, we're going to talk about the World Cup. We're going to continue that conversation and take a look at a watch party happening here in the Atlanta area. All right, the FIFA World Cup match here in the city of Atlanta is underway. Spain facing Cabo Verde. And if you don't have a ticket to any of the matches here in the city of Atlanta, don't worry, because watch parties are happening across the metro area. One being held today in Trilith for the Spain and Cabo Verde match, and that's where we'll find our Eli Jordan. Eli, you know, it looks so festive behind you. Curious to know what's happening and if you've been able to speak with any fans out there.
Hey, good afternoon, Jasmine. Well, it's not as festive as I was kind of expecting, but it is a Monday and it is at noon and it isn't college football, so what else do you expect? It's a little bit slim pickings out here, but like I said, everybody's at work. It's Monday and it's Spain and Cape Verde, so as far as locals, it's hard to get it, but they're putting on shows out here all day long, all week long for every game, and so maybe a little bit later on they'll have it, but it's just as well. They had a little TV problem, but right now, though, I am with a soccer fan, Ben Loftus. And Ben, how you doing today?
Good, Eli. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So, Ben, are you surprised that there's not more people out here right now?
I'm a little surprised. Yeah, this is a great setup.
And so, maybe later on tonight, when people start getting off work and their favorite teams are actually playing.
Yeah, this is going to be really cool later. If people get off work, it's going to pick up. It's going to be awesome.
So, what's your feelings about Atlanta? I mean, here we are. We got we're on the world stage. 175 million people watch each game. That's about 50 million more than the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, this is amazing. It's amazing for Atlanta to have this opportunity to advance soccer in this country, to advance, for all the next generation kids who are getting to see this and experience this. It's awesome.
And it's just like just hear the game announced and all that, and just realize that's just right down the street.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. It's great to be out here. This is a great space, but to know that this game is just happening downtown right now as we speak, it blows my mind. It's amazing.
So, are you going to be out here at the town of Trilith lawn every night, every evening as the game, as the week goes on?
I don't know if I can be out here every night, but I'm going to be out here as many nights as I can, and as much as my schedule allows, I'm going to be out here. I'm going to be cheering Team USA and rooting for some of the other countries that I love to follow. It's going to be awesome.
Awesome. Well, Ben Loftus, thank you so much. And out here at town at Trilith, it's a little slim pickings, but it's Monday, noon, and people at work, and it's soccer. And maybe people are quite got the fever on a Monday at noon, but later on as the week goes on, you'll have a chance to come on out here, check out all the games this week. It's going on every game, even tonight. They'll be going on, for the 9 o'clock game, going through that game, and every night they'll be going through all the games out here at the lawn at Trilith. Back to you, Jasmine.
All right, Eli. Yes, it looks very nice out there. So hopefully more people show up and partake in the festivities. We'll check in with you a little bit later this afternoon. And let's continue talking about this. FIFA fans are also gathering at the Georgia World Congress Center, that is, for Georgia the whole day through. Now, this is an immersive experience highlighting local music, art, and food for visiting international fans right next to the stadium. And our Paul Milken was there today with what you can expect.
Okay, you know what? We are feeling good at the Georgia World Congress Center. I mean, we are feeling good right now. That's what I'm talking about. We love Georgia. We love celebrating Georgia, and we love welcoming people to our wonderful state. Thanks to Georgia through the whole day. This is an immersive activation happening right inside the Georgia World Congress Center. And guys, it is free. It is open to the public. It is air conditioned. You can come, cool off, explore the state, and dance if you want to. Look, I feel like maybe for the next 5 minutes, we just keep the camera on you. We get a little dance party going on right now. That is what I am. Okay. Yes. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm too old for that. I threw my back out, so I'm walking over this way. So again, there are lots of different activations and exhibits in here that let you explore different communities in the state of Georgia, like Macon. And wait a minute. Now, I have a question for you, okay? So, Carly, first of all, great to see you.
Good to see you.
Now, why do we have a pickleball court here representing Macon?
Because Macon, Georgia has the largest indoor pickleball facility in the world.
I am so sad to say I did not know that until today, and now I'm so glad to know. Will you please please have me down to play some pickleball, okay?
Of course, anytime.
How excited are you to have Macon represented at this whole activation?
We are so excited. We are lucky to be able to staff it with mobile team and with our full-time staff. So we have people here every day.
Yeah, and you know, I love to shop. Is that a whole little retail shop back there?
A whole retail section. We have our new Creek Life brand, which is our radio station brand, as well as some Visit Macon merch.
Oh, that is very cool. Speaking of the radio station, there's a whole radio station setup. Are they going to be doing stuff in there?
We will. We'll have some on-air time live later in the activation.
That is very, very cool. And finally, got to ask you, we got the record player. We got some music going over here. Music is kind of a big deal around Macon, right?
Sure is. It's a music city.
Yeah.
Up and coming.
That's what we love. This is so fun. All right, I'm coming down soon. I want you and me are going to play pickleball.
Sounds good.
And then we'll go do a little record hunting, do a little music searching. Does that sound good?
Some fresh produce records.
Yeah, yes, we got it. All right, Macon has me sold. Great to see you. Thank you guys very much. I know what you thought, by the way, that I was going to start playing pickleball. No, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to do the pickleball. I'm going to burn calories. Wait a minute. Why has the dance party stopped? I want to see how you can dance to some good old Georgia country. Come on. We got a little.
I need you for this.
Right? Oh, there it is. We're going to do-si-do. All right, we'll see you down here at the Georgia World Congress Center, everybody.
Is she going to make himself available?
And you know, that is such a fun story there with Paul. Definitely check out this experience here. It's showing all things Georgia, and it's free, so make sure you get out there and learn about Georgia. Time right now is 1:36. Don't forget, fox5atlanta.com is your home for all things World Cup. All you have to do is head over to our website, and you can check here on Fox Local. We have this dashboard where you can meet Team USA, plus learn about local watch parties like the one we just saw in Trilith, and even menu specials. A lot of restaurants changing up their menu a bit, and I'm a foodie, so I'm going to be at some of those restaurants. Definitely get out there. But it's all there right at your fingertips on fox5atlanta.com. Time right now is 1:37. When we return, we'll talk about the election. Governor Kemp holding a press conference earlier today, and we'll let you know why next. Welcome back to our news conversation here on Fox Local, also streaming on TikTok and YouTube, also Facebook as well. Thanks for joining. Let's get into one of our big stories here. Election day is tomorrow. Georgians are heading back to the polls to vote in the primary runoff elections. And one key race we're watching is the governor's race. Governor Brian Kemp has endorsed one of the candidates, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, his longtime ally, and he wants him to become the 84th governor of Georgia, just ahead of the runoff election tomorrow, where Jones is taking on Rick Jackson. So whoever wins this race will go on to face former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms in the general election this November. Jones and Kemp both spoke this morning. Let's listen in together.
You know, so many different things that we've been able to do, returning $12 billion to the taxpayers. Burt Jones has been a trusted ally in that effort, being there every step of the way. And to me, this election is a very clear choice about the direction that you want our state to go. Whether you want to keep it moving the way we have over the last 24 years under Republican leadership, when you think about what Sonny Perdue did, what Governor Deal did, what my administration, working with many of the legislators here today and many that have since ended up leaving government, we've just done some incredible things. Or you can go the way of the disaster of Keisha Lance Bottoms. When you think about Georgia fighting to keep our state open during COVID, as Matt Reeves was just saying, sorry about that, Matt. I was thinking about my old floor leader who was in that fight. But you think back to that time, you had people that were advocating to put lives, you know, to make sure lives were just as important as livelihood. And then you had Keisha Lance Bottoms wanting to keep our state shut down, keep the city shut down, not allow businesses to open up. You think about the disaster of violent crime under her administration versus the Republican leadership that Burt Jones and I have worked on, going after criminal street gangs, creating the crime suppression unit, you know, actually aiding the city of Atlanta to keep it from being burned down during civil unrest. Burt Jones has been in that fight every step of the way, from his time in the state Senate to his time as lieutenant governor working with us. So for me, this is a clear choice on keeping our state moving in the right direction. That's why Marty and the girls and I will be voting for Burt Jones tomorrow to keep our state moving forward and to make sure that we have the best chance to win in November. I've said all along, my whole goal during this whole primary and runoff season was to make sure that we win in November, keep our state moving in the right direction, because the alternative of Keisha Lance Bottoms to that is just unacceptable. So help me welcome our next governor, the 84th governor, Burt Jones.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Governor and First Lady Marty Kemp. Thank y'all so very much. Very kind of you and very nice words from Governor Kemp, which he's right. Georgia is the envy of the country right now, and it's because of great leadership that the governor has put forward for the last 8 years. And he's had a pretty good supporting cast with the legislature, and as my time as lieutenant governor, I've enjoyed working with the governor. He and I are very similar in our way of thinking, just common sense, business-minded, and trying to do what's right for everyday Georgians. And like I said, I can't say enough about how appreciative Jan and I are of this endorsement, Governor and First Lady, and we think that this is exactly what's going to put us over the top. Obviously, tomorrow is Election Day, and we need people to get out and vote. We need people to turn out in a big way. We had early voting wasn't what we wanted it to be, but we got one more day to make up those numbers. And if the people of Georgia want a proven conservative, business-minded person who knows what the job entails on day one, I'm thinking I'm the only choice when it comes to tomorrow on Election Day. And like I said, learned a lot of good lessons from Governor Kemp. One good lesson is that he keeps a calm and steady hand on the toughest of situations. And I will tell you, I've told him this many a times, and the first 4 years of his governance with COVID and everything else that went on might have been probably the toughest time for any governor in the history of this state. But he weathered the storm, and we came out on the other side a lot better off because of his leadership. So we got to win tomorrow. We want our people to get out and vote. We're very appreciative of this endorsement, and like Governor Kemp and First Lady Marty, Jan, and I, we want to serve the people of Georgia, and we've enjoyed serving as their Lieutenant Governor.
And again, you just heard from Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones there speaking, and Governor Kemp a little bit earlier, speaking ahead of this runoff election. Meanwhile, his opponent, Rick Jackson, is also campaigning, but he's campaigning with Texas Senator Ted Cruz. They held a press conference earlier today. Let's listen to him as well.
Send a text to your coworker at the office. Send a text to your daughter or your crazy Uncle Louie and say, listen, this race matters. This race matters, and I'm talking to you because I know Rick, because I've looked him in the eyes. And I want a candidate, I want a governor who inspires us, who stands for something, who has courage, who has overcome adversity, who can take Georgia forward. I'll tell you what, if you get 9 other people to show up tomorrow and vote for Rick who wouldn't have voted otherwise, you just voted 10 times. That is the power of the people. That is the power of the men and women here. You're going to win this race. You're going to win this race tomorrow, and you're going to win this race in November for the people of Georgia and for the people all across America. And with that, I'm proud to give you the next governor of the great state of Georgia, Rick Jackson.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I see my family's here, so that's good. Thank you so much, Senator Cruz, the introduction, for your support. Like me, Senator Cruz knows what it's like to run as an outsider and take on the establishment. 2012, Senator Cruz jumped into the Republican primary for U.S. Senate. He took on the sitting lieutenant governor, who was heavily favored. While few had heard the name Ted Cruz ever before, then he finished second in the first round of the primary to that lieutenant governor. Does that sound familiar yet? Well, Ted Cruz went from second place in that primary to a double-digit win in the runoff, and that's what we're going to do tomorrow. I call that the Ted Cruz two-step from Texas. Less than 5 months ago, we sent an earthquake here in Georgia through the establishment when I announced the run for governor, and now we have 1 day to finish the job. The runoff is a clear choice. I'm a conservative, a political outsider, and a businessman, and I'm running for governor to make an impact for all 11 million Georgians. My opponent is the opposite. He's been in office for 14 years and has only delivered for his family benefit, while everyone else gets squeezed, higher prices and higher taxes. We don't need politicians who talk. We need business leaders who act. I'll deliver for Georgia the same type of business solutions that President Trump is bringing to our country. I'll be like him, but with a Southern tone. And I'll guarantee, I'll be his favorite governor. I'll build on the conservative legacy of Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp's built an incredible foundation.
And again, you just heard from candidate Rick Jackson there. He's campaigning with Senator Ted Cruz of Texas. Again, whoever wins the race here between Rick Jackson and Burt Jones, they will go on to face former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. More than 400,000 Georgians voted early. So if you haven't voted yet, head to the polls tomorrow. They open at 7 o'clock in the morning. Time right now is 1:50. When we return, we'll talk about some lighter news here. And one of them's pretty scary. A dog surviving a bear attack. We'll have more next. Welcome back to our news conversation here on Fox Local. Let's get into some of these stories here, these national stories. First, talking SpaceX. It has launched the first Falcon 9 rocket since making its NASDAQ debut on Friday. The Starlink 1754 mission will add 24 broadband internet satellites to SpaceX's low Earth orbit constellation. Now, it was launched from Vandenberg Space Force Base early this morning. The rocket flew on a southwesterly trajectory, and the Falcon 9 first stage booster landed on the, of course, I Still Love You drone ship in the Pacific Ocean. And you are taking a look at video here. This is so cool to watch to me. I used to live in Huntsville, where we talked space all the time, and NASA as well. So that video is pretty cool one to show you. And take a look at this scary situation for this hiker here. A 7-hour technical mission to help rescue a hiker stranded on a cliff in California. Officials say the hiker fell down a steep cliff at Land's End in San Francisco over the weekend. And the hiker with an injured leg and unable to move, called 911 for help. I feel like I've seen this in a movie before. Rescue teams plan to use a helicopter to lift the men off the cliff, but heavy fog and unstable terrain made it too risky for them. So instead, crews here use a specialized drone to monitor the rough terrain from above in real time, and firefighters track the hiker's location using their cell phones. Then one of the firefighters rappelled down the side of the cliff to get to the hiker. So the hiker was pulled to safety. That person is safe and treated for non-life-threatening injuries, expected to be okay. Fire officials say one rescue swimmer suffered minor injuries during this rescue, but no one suffered major injuries here. Scary situation out of California. And this here was caught on cam. A dog in Arkansas survives a clash with a bear. And there's a puppy there on your screen. You can see his injuries. So sad there. So Lori Price, this is her dog. She was walking her chocolate lab Willis and her German short-haired pointer Chaos. What a name for a dog there, near a lake. And it was all going well until Chaos ran into a black bear. So she heard the dog's frightening yip and saw him and the bear. So thankfully, Price came prepared for a situation like this. So she was carrying bear spray and a Glock 43mm pistol. She shot the bear 3 times before getting away. Thankfully, Chaos was still moving, and she and her other dog, Willis, were unharmed. Price eventually came across an ambulance who helped her get care for her dog, Chaos, there. Wow, poor Chaos, involved in some chaos. Chaos is back home and expected to make a full recovery. Well, thanks so much for joining our news conversation this Monday afternoon. Our news continues right at 2.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being here live with us on your Monday afternoon. It is a really exciting day because the first FIFA World Cup match in Atlanta is being played as we speak between Spain and Cabo Verde. We expect 3 more games for the World Cup to take place as the day continues. So let's get out live to our Tyler Fingard, who joins us live outside of Atlanta Stadium. Tyler, it is great to see you. What is the vibe like there in downtown?
Well, Ariel, good afternoon to you. That match just wrapped up, and Cabo Verde pulled off a stunning draw here at Atlanta Stadium against Spain, who is number 2 in the world. So obviously there was a lot of anticipation that Spain would easily pull off a victory here, but that did not happen. And now you can see, take a look behind me, fans are now coming out of Atlanta Stadium as this match just wrapped up moments ago. And there has just been so much excitement here today. We got here hours ago, probably around 10 a.m., and you could just hear just the excitement. You could feel it. Everyone just cheering and just super excited for the first FIFA World Cup match here in the city of Atlanta. There was a lot of Spain fans here, but I'll tell you, Cabo Verde also had a lot of fans here as well. Not as many as Spain, but I mean, if you're looking live, you could see a lot of the red and blue. Obviously, a lot of Spain fans are here, but Cabo Verde was definitely showing out in force as well, as they were just taking in this moment. They are the second smallest country in terms of landmass to actually play in a FIFA World Cup. This is their first appearance, and they're just super just super excited for this. They just obviously have never had this experience before, and they were just obviously looking forward to anything. One of the women I spoke with had told me that she said she doesn't care what the score is. She was just happy that they were obviously able to just be here and have the chance to be able to play in a World Cup. And obviously this ending in that stunning draw with Spain in this group stage match here at Atlanta Stadium. And we were talking to a number of people throughout the day who have actually never been here to the city of Atlanta, and they were just saying that it is such a joy to be here because of the atmosphere and also the culture and obviously the food, because what better thing than the food in the South. But I do want to point something out. So there was a lot of talk about this. We know how expensive stadiums can be. I got a chance to go in just about 20-30 minutes ago inside Atlanta Stadium. This is the souvenir cup. At most stadiums, you probably look to spend some around $10-15 bucks maybe for one of these souvenir cups. This cost me $4 here at Atlanta Stadium. I was able to grab a slice of pizza as well that I have not eaten yet. Cheese, $3 for this. So $7 and change with tax to be able to get both of these. And that's what all the people here for this game were able to take in. I want you to take a listen to what one of the fans told me earlier today, just about how excited they are to be here.
You can't explain it. You have to feel it, and experience this. It's amazing, and I just saw them driving by. It's like I said, I don't have words to explain what I'm feeling right now, because we are from a small country that a lot of people don't know where we are, but we're making history. We're here right now.
The energy is insane. It's crazy, you know, like people say when you go to New York and you walk out, you feel that energy. Well, this is 1,000 times more. It's amazing. It's spectacular.
And obviously this is the first of 8 matches here in the city of Atlanta, and we're basically reintroducing ourselves to the world. 30 years ago this summer, we hosted the 1996 Summer Olympics here. So we're obviously familiar to some folks, but billions of eyes are now on the city of Atlanta, along with the other host cities, for this 2026 FIFA World Cup. And I'll tell you, when we found out just about 4 years ago that we were hosting this, city leaders and state leaders had been preparing for this to be able to just get the chance to show off what we are to the world. And obviously a lot of fans have been enjoying that, Ariel, and I have to say, everyone said that they think that this is a very good venue and a very good city to be able to host a World Cup match in. Ariel?
Well, Tyler, it's historic on so many levels, and I think how incredible that Atlanta is one of the most affordable, or the most affordable stadium here out of all of the stadiums being played in North America. So we'll get a little notch on our belt for that one. I'm glad you were able to go inside, show us the souvenir cup. I'm like, hey, I know some people who would like one of those. But really great for the Cape Verdeans.
I, of course, had to grab it.
Yes, of course you had to. You had to. I love it. But shout out to the Cape Verdeans for being able to get that win, or not the win, I should say, but that goal, because I know that for some of these countries, these smaller countries, they practice so hard to be on this stage, and to score is just amazing. I like the shirt, like the merch you're showing me. Is that something else you were able to get?
This one cost a little bit more than the actual food and the drinks that they're serving inside there. I don't really want to mention it on TV because probably it's like a day's worth of salary for me, but it was about $60. So a lot of people taking in this. One of the other yeah, you know what? At least I got 10% off by using my Visa card. They were offering that everywhere around here, so I can't complain about that. But I'll tell you, one of the stores down just on the fan zone, which is normally the Home Depot backyard, there's not a line there right now, but earlier when I walked down there, they had already sold out of one of the Atlanta shirts, so it just shows how popular those types of souvenirs are, because a lot of folks want to be able to have something to remember this by, because this might be the only time that they get to take in a FIFA World Cup match here in the city of Atlanta, so they want something unique to us. There's a lot of Georgia Peach stuff on the merchandise and things like that.
I love it. I'm going to have to come down and check it out, Tyler. Thanks so much for joining us live. Really exciting. I can see all the Spain fans behind you, and I know that there was a contingent representing Cape Verde as well. Small country, some islands off the coast of West Africa, for anyone who is curious about where Cape Verde is, but just incredible. So Tyler, thanks for joining us live. You guys, as we continue here, I want to let you know that we expect now Belgium and Egypt to start playing around 3 p.m. Eastern time, and then after that around 6 Eastern time, we're going to see Saudi Arabia and Uruguay. And then tonight at 9 o'clock, the match that has a lot of people talking, Iran and New Zealand will play. So let's continue with the FIFA Fan Fest. Our Ray Urena is out taking a look at all of the fans who have packed Fan Fest. Ray, you got a great view behind you, and I see people of various jerseys. What's the vibe like out there?
It is a Cape Verde party right now, Ariel. I'm going to step off to the side so you can just see the amount of Cape Verde fans that are celebrating this draw with what was considered one of the tournament favorites heading into this year's World Cup in Spain. The Cape Verde fans have now moved all the way up to the front. They're in a one big group, and so when you have all this music coming through and the music starts to drop, like we're about to get a beat drop here, you'll just see them start jumping up in just a second. There you go. There we go. Someone. They're just jumping, and they've been at this since the game ended a few minutes ago. You have flags everywhere. It is an absolute party here. But my word, was that a shocking result for both Spain and Cape Verde. And you can feel that here, watching the game from the big screen. It was standing room only earlier today, because you had Spain fans being frustrated that their team couldn't score against Cape Verde. And then Cape Verde fans applauding every single defensive stop that their team did in that entire 90-minute match right down the road from where we are in Atlanta Stadium. As far as Fan Fest is concerned, it has seen 29,000 fans on Saturday and more than 28,000 fans on Sunday. So this has been very popular. We saw the screen just as packed as you've seen maybe on social media with previous games with Mexico, the United States. It was just as packed earlier today, and we were able to speak to a couple of people who were going to attend today's match over in Atlanta Stadium earlier today. Before they went into, they said they had tickets and they just wanted to see what Fan Fest was about. Take a listen to what they said.
Soccer is different. We bleed, football or soccer, like you guys call it here, and it's our life. It's like what American football is for you guys here. So it's passion, it's love. You cry, you laugh, you love them, you hate them. I mean, it's everything all mixed in.
There's a lot of Cape Verdeans that came from Cape Verde Island, from all over the United States, from all over the country. So I think everyone are going to be very emotional and very excited and praying that we win this, that we take this.
and they did it indeed. They were confident heading into this game, and they end up drawing against one of the top-ranked teams in this World Cup area. And of course, their fans are celebrating every minute of this. Just 10 small islands off the west coast of Africa, and all their fans are here in Atlanta. Their fans here in Atlanta are jumping and celebrating how their team played today.
Ray, I love the success stories that come out of the World Cup. These underdogs, these smaller teams that are able to score some of these big goals that maybe you wouldn't expect. I know Curacao had a historic goal against Germany, and that made their fans so excited. And so for so many of them who traveled so far, spent so much money to be here, this is just a dream come true. So, Ray, I'll let you get back to it. Thanks for joining us live, giving us a look at what to expect. I know that FIFA Fan Fest gets busier at certain times of day than others. And right now, even though it is a work day, you see a lot of visitors and even maybe some locals out there enjoying this. So, Ray, thanks so much. I'll let you get back to it. As we continue, you guys, World Cup fever knows no bounds in the sense that a lot of Georgia cities, suburbs, and metropolitan areas are really hoping to capitalize on a FIFA investment, if you will. Douglasville is one of these metro Atlanta cities, if you will, working to spend big bucks to try to attract the crowd. So let's get out to our Kevin Stewart, who joins us live from Douglasville. And Kevin, it is great to see you. Love to see your jersey. You're looking very festive. So tell us a little bit about what
BVB,
okay.
Dortmund.
Wait. Tell us, what is it again?
BVB, Borussia Dortmund, team in Germany, Dortmund.
Love it, Kevin. Okay, so tell us.
There you go.
Love it. Tell us about how Douglasville is trying to capitalize on FIFA investments.
Yeah, they've been working on this for a while. You know, we've got cities all over the metro, like you said, Noonan, Alpharetta, Douglasville, people looking to give their community something to do this summer, and of course hoping that you can have some spillover to area businesses. And today, I don't think Douglasville saw that. Certainly a crowd here had fun, but we're not seeing that that spread out to area businesses. I'd say that if you don't count, say, the kids who are out for summer camp, I'd say there were probably about 50 people here, so not a huge crowd, which isn't terribly shocking since we're talking about a noon event. But the city says that this is certainly something that they were excited to do and didn't have to put up a lot of money to do so. You had a licensing fee, and because there were no tickets, no gates, that made it easier for them to do this at a cheaper expense. Here at the Town Green, the amphitheater here in downtown Douglasville, you already had the monitors, and one of the things they're saying is like, hey, we have the infrastructure to do this and give our community something to have fun with this summer. They're going to have events like these. They're going to have watch parties each of the Atlanta games. So there are several more that are coming up. I want you to take a listen to some fans who came out here, and we talked to the mayor's spokesperson. Take a listen.
We're hoping to reach some of those people who do or live outside of our community, who still want to come and have that kind of tailgate fun experience with the crowd, cheering on their favorite team, but they don't necessarily want to go downtown where there's crowds of thousands and thousands of people. They want to be able to have that experience without the hassle of driving downtown, figuring out where to park, and figuring out how to get to Centennial Park or something. Luckily for us, we have this relatively new Town Green and amphitheater. It's been here for a few years, but it gives us the ability to do something like this without a whole lot of extra cost. The screens are there, the AV, the sound system is there, the open space is there, to where we can put this on as an event for the community that doesn't really cost the city extra money. So we're not paying a lot to put this on. Some places are having to bring in extra screens and sound systems and things like that.
School's out, so they're doing something for the kids, you know. Everybody's home, so with the World Cup going on here in Atlanta and the rest of the United States, you know, it's not often that this happens here. So it's a good time to get people together and come out and, you know, watch the game all together.
And don't have to spend $2,000 for a ticket.
Oh, much better than that. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, not many people are willing to do that, but I can tell you we do have some excited fans. I met some friends here. You guys are from Douglas County, correct?
Yes, we are.
And you're Cape Verdean.
I'm Cape Verdean, full-blooded.
How do you enjoy that game?
I enjoyed it very much. It could have been better.
Amazing.
It was
good. It was great.
You know, one of the things that we were talking about is about was it worth it? You know, the city spends a little bit of money, not a ton of money. I think it was still in 5 figures to put on an event. Didn't have a ton of people here, but people had fun.
That's right.
And the kids were out here from the summer camp. What's your take on that?
It was nice. We were just talking about it. The weather was gorgeous, nice. The vibe was good.
Absolutely.
The kids playing.
Right.
The game was great. So it was wonderful.
It was a fun time. It was fun. Really a lot of fun. We had a great time just cheering on our people.
Cabo Verde.
Are you going to come down to the next event? The city's holding another watch party, the next Atlanta game, which would be, I guess, next Friday, I believe.
Okay. Hey, I'll come to all of them. If they're going to do all 8 of them, we're here.
It's free.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Douglasville. It's free.
Oh, my
It's
goodness.
free.
Place for the community to come out, congregate together. Small Cape Verdean population in this area, but hey, we come out, support our team.
Yes. Exactly.
And just meet and greet and be with one another, fellowship
Right.
together.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, so so there you have it. Folks are excited about this opportunity, a chance for people to get together and have a good time during a Monday afternoon.
It is sneaky, Kevin. How many Cape Verdeans are here in Atlanta? You would not expect
Yeah,
so many.
I'm surprised.
But, you know, I mean, really exciting.
I know the Cape Verdean population in America is mostly in New England, but yeah, we have some here in Atlanta, including Douglas County.
Incredible. I'm so happy for them.
They're transplants, like everybody from Atlanta, they're from someplace else.
Yes, amen. It's so true. Well, Kevin, thanks so much for joining us live. Love that we were able to meet some more fans, and I know they're so thrilled with the outcome of this game today. So, Kevin Stewart, thanks so much. I'll let you get back to it. You guys, as we continue here, it is really fun to talk all things World Cup and to see the beauty of all these teams coming together and all these people here in our country experiencing America, some of them for the very first time. But as you know, we have a busy news day to get to, a lot of other items, so let's get into it, because I know some of you are clicking on stories, fox5atlanta.com, and something that's captured a lot of your attention is this tragedy. Police are searching for suspects after a 12-year-old boy was shot. You're taking a look at the scene there in the 400 block of Windsor Street, and we have learned that this 12-year-old boy is recovering in the hospital. That boy was caught in the crossfire, it seems, of an apparent drive-by shooting Friday evening here in Atlanta. Atlanta police officers responded around 6:30 last Friday, and when officers got to the scene, they found this 12-year-old boy suffering from that gunshot wound, and they say the child was alert, conscious, and breathing as first responders were able to rush him into an ambulance and get him to the hospital. They do not believe that that young boy was the target of the gunfire. Detectives with the aggravated assault unit responded to the neighborhood, gathered some evidence, and have combed through the scene. But ultimately, Atlanta police are looking for those wanted in connection with the shooting of this boy. They're asking the public to, if you know anything, you heard anything or saw anything, give them a call immediately. You can call Crime Stoppers and remain anonymous. And you can also submit tips online at stopcrimeatl.org. Also want to let you know we are following the latest with a death at the Civic Center MARTA station. This is another thing that MARTA officials are dealing with because a man tried to pull himself off of the transit trackway Saturday morning after an oncoming Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority train struck him. This unfolded at the Civic Center station, and just after 10:43 Saturday morning, the operator announced over the intercom that a man was down on the tracks, and the train operator spotted the man but could not stop the vehicle in time before the train struck him. That's according to a statement from the MARTA Police Department. Cruz immediately cut power to the station's grid so firefighters and medics could rush to pull the man out, and first responders were able to get him out from beneath the train and confirm he died there at the scene. Right now, MARTA police are trying to figure out how this unfolded. They say that the man was on the station platform at around 10:32 a.m. He arrived by train to that station at Civic Center, and they say he sat on a granite strip on the platform before entering the northbound trackway by himself. Moments later, they say the man tried to climb back up onto the platform but could not get up, and at 10:40 a.m. that's when he was struck by that oncoming train. So just a tragedy. Police are trying to figure out more details as to how this happened, so we'll continue to keep you updated. Someone here in our chat on TikTok asking if MARTA goes to Douglasville. I'm looking online, and it looks like from the express bus route you are able to get to Douglasville. I'm not sure that MARTA goes there, but you are able to do that from the express bus transit. So just wanted to give you that update. Douglasville is about 20 miles south of downtown Atlanta. As we continue here, I want to let you know that police, or rather family of a retired police officer here in Atlanta, are seeking answers after this man was found dead, and they are really trying to understand what his final moments may have looked like, because this retired Atlanta police officer was still serving as an active university officer. They say he was found dead in his own driveway Saturday morning, and now Clayton County is investigating after relatives discovered blood inside of the house. This happened in the 70 block of Upper Riverdale Road around 9 a.m. Saturday. Officers responded after receiving a call of an unresponsive person, and when they got there, they say they found the officer, 61-year-old James Edward Sinkfield, lying in the driveway. Family members later identified him, and he was retired from the Atlanta police force, but like I mentioned, very active in his community, working at a university. He had spent years with the Atlanta police force and was in South Georgia. The family is deeply concerned about the circumstances surrounding Mr. Sinkfield's death, because they found blood throughout his home, and they're not sure what that means. I'd like to let you take a listen to what some of his family members are saying about his legacy in the community.
They were well known in the Atlanta community. The Carey Mathematics Center off Campbellton Road. He spent countless of hours teaching, mentoring kids about math problems and everyday to-day problems that occurred in Atlanta. A great uncle, a great cousin, loved by many, and very hated by few. He was well, healthy. He's around 61, 62 years old. He's fully active. He was a current police officer at Fort Valley State.
So you can imagine his family is devastated at his loss and really trying to understand how he died. Sinkfield, also known for his deep commitment to local youth. And like you heard from family, they noted he was a healthy man who balanced his active policing duties with community mentorship. So as we get any new information in this death investigation, we will continue to let you know. Let's talk about a story that's getting a lot of traction on Fox5Atlanta.com. And I have to warn you, the details of this story are disturbing. So if you have kids or if you just don't want to hear this, I'm going to warn you now, because a Loganville man is now going to spend the rest of his life behind bars after a Gwinnett County jury convicted him of murder, rape, and years of horrific child abuse. They say this ultimately led to the death of his 10-year-old daughter. The jury found 51-year-old William Lynn McHugh guilty of felony murder, 2 counts of rape, 3 counts of aggravated child molestation, and 2 counts of incest. And ultimately, this verdict came down Thursday. The man is going to McHugh is going to spend 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, followed by a 4th life sentence. Let's talk about how he got here. The prosecution revealed a systemic pattern of torture where McHugh's children were beaten, forced to wear shock collars, and made to stand naked on cinder blocks for hours or days at a time. They say the children were never enrolled in school and were homeschooled, and they were forced to use buckets instead of toilets. The severe abuse came to light back in 2022, April of 2022, when first responders rushed to a house fire at the McHugh home in Loganville. McHugh's wife, Karina McHugh, rescued their 12-year-old and 8-year-old sons, but could not reach their 10-year-old daughter. They later found the young girl was sleeping in a locked bathroom with pieces of plywood over the bathtub as her bed, and her room lacked a window, so she died from smoke inhalation. During the trial, the jury learned that the couple's 15-year-old son intentionally started that fire to escape the constant abuse. Just a horrible story, but We'll continue to keep you updated if any new details come to light. As we continue along here at 2 o'clock, we're going to get a check of your weather forecast with meteorologist Greg Majeski. Want to let you know what to expect if you're planning to head out to FIFA Fan Fest activities here in the downtown metro anytime soon, or if you've got other plans, what's on the agenda. We're going to talk about it with Greg straight ahead. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstad. Thanks so much for being here. We've got meteorologist Greg Majeski to talk a little bit about what we're expecting. And Greg, I have to say, I walked out today and it was not nearly as humid as it has been.
Felt great. I mean, great for today's opening match, which turned out to be a wow. That just
a
wow.
draw between
I can't believe. I mean, everybody was
teams.
saying, "Oh, 5-0 Spain, 7-0 Spain."
Yeah.
And it was a draw.
Don't count the underdog out.
No, well, I had heard Spain had kind of kept some of their big dogs back when they should have played them. So that's on them. So
of course.
Anyway, what we're dealing with, we got some great weather here. I was mentioning this morning. I said a lot of uncertainty with the weather forecast here next couple of days. So we got a couple of minor changes, like the rain chances for tomorrow. I'm spiking up because the models are looking really wet and bringing Wednesdays down. So again, I want to show the drop monitor here because we continue to chip this thing away. We're going to have some significant rain potential here, especially toward the end of the week going into Thursday, Friday, depending on what develops out in the Western Gulf. Maybe. That's going to be a big factor here, but we may get some decent rains here toward the end of the week that may play a factor on how much we continue to chip away at this drought conditions. Now, the radar is clear today. Tomorrow, we're probably going to be tracking some rain here across the area. Now, we'll say this. If you're up across extreme North Georgia, your rain chances are probably going to be lower than what we're expecting down in Atlanta. Atlanta's like 80%. You go further south, it's favoring that. So it's going to be a dividing line, which I'll be honest, is the weather guy gives me a headache. So it's just trying to figure out north-south where the rain chances are going to be. So you see it spiking for tomorrow, comes back down on Wednesday, then goes back up again for Thursday and Friday. And I got to move that FIFA over there to Thursday. Sorry about that. That's on Thursday. But at least we come back down for the weekend. Looks like Saturday's looking good. Sunday may see a late shower or so. So the rest of today looking pretty good. We've got temperatures here in the 80s. We've got lower humidity. Clouds around, but that's okay. We can handle that. Not looking bad. Then the temperature is going to do a little bit of roller coaster. Again, for tomorrow, about 80 degrees or so. And then we see the rain chances coming up and the storms coming in there going into Thursday and Friday. So Friday's temperature comes down a little bit. And then the weekend, I think we get another front. So we might actually have very comfortable morning lows once again. May see some 50s back up in the mountains again, I think, going into Saturday morning, for example, as things kind of dry out just a bit. And so here's the model. Again, we've got big old flush of rain here coming through tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, not showing much anything here on the Barron model here right now. But I want to keep a 40% in for Wednesday. Definitely a little more scattered. But for tomorrow, keep the umbrella handy. Again, if you're up toward Dalton and Blairsville, you're probably not going to get as much as you get down toward the metro area. So highs today look like they're on target. Looks like we're hitting 80s pretty good. We'll have some 70s up in the mountains, looking pretty good here for today. And then as we go in for the next 7 days, again, kind of putting this all together. There's one big package for you here. Again, like I said, Saturday morning's looking pretty comfortable there. I think we'll see a few 50s up in the mountains. But the question mark for Thursday and Friday, and it remains a question mark because we're waiting to see if we in fact get any kind of tropical low or any kind of disturbance to form off the Texas coast or not. Because if it does and it comes in, we will have a wetter pattern. If it doesn't, it's just some moisture, then we probably don't get as much rain. So that's a little bit of a variable. The Hurricane Center's got like a 30% chance for development out there. We'll see what happens right now. But the weekend, at least, is not looking too bad.
Okay, well, good to know. Greg, thank you. I'm enjoying the fact that maybe we can get some relief. I want the rain. I know we need the rain, but
there's no 90s on there. That's a good thing.
Amen to that. Amen.
Like
Greg, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, guys, let's talk about the latest regarding the ceasefire with Iran, because at this point, I know there's a lot of surrounding details, and we want to understand what to expect. So as we continue here, we know later today that around 9 o'clock, we are going to see Iran play New Zealand. And this is the first match that Iran is going to play here in the country, and the first match that Iran is playing in the FIFA World Cup. But let's talk real quick about what to expect regarding that peace deal, because President Trump right now is at the G7 summit with a bunch of world leaders talking about the latest regarding this peace deal. Now, President Trump says that a peace deal has been reached and plans are in place to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But it's still not clear whether or not Iran and the United States are on the same page regarding this deal. President Trump arrived in Europe Monday to meet with world leaders at the G7 summit, just hours after agreeing with Iran to extend the ceasefire for 60 days and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. We're learning a little bit more about that agreement. Iran says it's going to work with the international community to verify it's not building a nuclear weapon. In exchange, it's going to receive sanctions relief and have its international funds unfrozen. Ultimately, this is going to leave adversaries more or less where they were 3.5 months ago, before Israel and the United States launched their war on Iran February 28th. This has left thousands dead across the region, triggered a global energy crisis, and shook the American economy with an inflation surge. Democrats point out that the deal does not address Iran's missile program, its support for proxy groups like Hezbollah, or end the repressive regime that's killed tens of thousands of dissenters of Iran in recent months. For example, Congressman Adam Smith says, looking at this, we're sort of back to where we were when we started. No clear nuclear deal. Even if it all plays out, all we've done is reopen a strait that was opened in the first place. However, J.D. Vance, vice president, says there's an approach where we verify and there are real benefits as long as Iran meets their end of the obligation. So that remains to be seen. Also complicating the agreement, Israel, which says it will not withdraw from southern Lebanon until Hezbollah disarms. It's unclear whether or not that's a non-starter for Iranians. It has been a pressure point in the past. Keep in mind, President Trump is going to be working hard to sell this deal to his counterparts at the G7 summit, as that has kicked off today. If we do have the soundbite of President Trump answering reporter questions at the G7 summit today, I'd like to let you take a listen to what he had to say.
Hey, sir, are you going to try to attend the signing ceremony on Friday? Well, it depends. JD's coming in for it. He was originally going to do it. I'll probably be gone by then. We're having dinner in a day and a half, right? We're going to be staying quite late. So I may be involved, I may not. But JD was coming in for that specifically.
Mr. President, when will the text of the MOU be released?
I think pretty soon. I would say, I mean, I want it to be released because it's a very powerful document. It's not like the Obama document, which was just a terrible document. This is a very powerful document, and I want it to be released. So probably pretty soon. I would say sometime after Friday, because the strait opens completely. It's open now, but it opens completely. We'll have all the mines knocked out for the most part. We have a lot of lanes right now already.
Mr. President.
So I think sometime in the very near future, yeah.
Mr. President, does the deal involve any sanctions relief for Iran? When would that go into effect?
No, it doesn't. Well, they have to. It's really a behavioral thing. If they do what they're supposed to do, that starts taking effect.
Monsieur Macron, quel engagement êtes-vous prêt à prendre au nom de la France dans le détroit d'Ormuz? Vous avez parlé du porte-avions Charles de Gaulle. Mr. President, what do you expect from France and
well, I would love them to do that. I don't think we're going to need much help because we have an agreement where it's going to be open. And it's toll-free. We had a little argument on that. It's toll-free. So I don't think we're going to need much help. But I don't think it's a bad idea to have a ship or two up here from a few countries. You'd be a great country to do it because you never know what happens. But I think it's going to be open, and I think it's going to be free sailing. We do want to see if we can straighten out the Lebanon thing, because it just seems to just never end. And that's a mini version of what we were doing, and it should not be tough. It should not be tough. So Hezbollah, we have to have a little talk with them.
A signing ceremony between Iran and the United States, mediated by Pakistan, is expected Friday in Switzerland. It's not clear if the president's going to attend, so we'll continue to keep you updated as that moves forward. But later tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, Iran is going to play its first match of the World Cup, playing New Zealand. And the Iranian team will be in Los Angeles for their first match. Keep in mind, Iranians across the city say they're torn about the team's campaign. Los Angeles is often nicknamed Tehrangeles because it's home to the largest population of Iranians outside of Iran. But many Iranian Americans are saying it's difficult to know who to cheer for. Iran's soccer team is training on U.S. soil for the first time this World Cup, and it's on the same day that both countries reached a peace deal, according to President Trump. But tonight they're going to play New Zealand at LA Stadium. And for some members of LA's Aria Football Club, the national team is an extension of the Islamic Republic. The recreational squad is comprised mainly of Iranian players, many of whom moved to the United States after the resolution. Some have said that any player that was pro-Iranian people has been kicked out of the team. Others say tension grew during the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, when Iran's team remained largely silent about violent government crackdowns. And so there was an expectation that the Iranian soccer team would be more on the side of the people. But Iran has been considered an underdog to win this World Cup. They're missing their best striker, who was reportedly left off the team after a social media post angered Iranian officials. Iran's head coach hopes his players can put those distractions aside during the game. I'd like to let you listen to what some members of the Aria Football Club had to say about this.
The few I know, they are cheering for Iran, but the ones I see on internet or on Instagram, they are like against the team. I mean, the team doesn't have anything to do with their government.
I feel that this is not a national team, because any player that was pro-Iranian people has been picked out of the team, and everyone that's pro-government and they actually, they support the government, has been placed in the team. So this is a governmental team.
Connection between people and the national team right now is not like 10 years ago. Especially the last World Cup started. On the last World Cup, people were expecting more action from those players to be on the side of people, not on the side of government. Some of them they did some acts.
Well, the Iranian team is limited to very brief trips here in the United States for their matches. They're going to fly back to a training camp in Mexico after each game that they play here in the United States. As we continue along, you guys, we are going to check in here on a big day happening tomorrow in Georgia. Runoff elections. It is Election Day, and we're going to speak to our Deidre Dukes about one campaign event that was held this afternoon. Well, welcome back in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being here on your Monday afternoon. Georgia voters are going to decide some key races here in our state tomorrow during the runoff election, June 16th. And you're going to see several high-profile primary runoff contests for statewide and federal offices. The Republican runoffs for governor and U.S. Senate are drawing the most attention and could shape the state's political landscape as we head here into November. Polls are going to be open from 7 to 7, and we expect many ballots to be cast. Keep in mind, nearly 500,000 early and absentee ballots have already been cast. And let's take a look a little closer at the U.S. GOP Senate primary race. So we have our Deidre Dukes out live for us. And Deidre, I understand earlier this morning, U.S. Senate candidate Derek Dooley held a campaign event with Governor Brian Kemp, hoping to ultimately challenge Democratic Senator Jon Ossoff come November.
That's right. And what a very busy day here in the metro Atlanta area for politics, being on the campaign trail area. I know a lot of attention right now is in the city of Atlanta and FIFA as we invite the international visitors. But I do have to tell you, it has been a very busy day for those of us following politics here in Atlanta, because there were at least 3 news conferences this morning following a very busy weekend. Well, what happened this weekend? This weekend we saw President Trump endorsing U.S. Rep. Mike Collins in the race for Senate here in Georgia. And also we saw Governor Brian Kemp making an endorsement in the governor's race heading into Tuesday. And he endorsed the Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones in that race. And so today, early this morning, we heard first off from Governor Brian Kemp. He, for the first time, was on the campaign trail with Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, who is in a runoff in that race with billionaire businessman Rick Jackson. So first, let's listen to what Governor Kemp had to say as far as why he elected to here the day before the election throw his hat in the race, his support for the lieutenant governor. Here's what he told us.
This is a clear choice on keeping our state moving in the right direction. That's why Marty and the girls and I will be voting for Burt Jones tomorrow to keep our state moving forward and to make sure that we have the best chance to win in November. I've said all along, my whole goal during this whole primary and runoff season was to make sure that we win in November, keep our state moving in the right direction, because the alternative of Keisha Lance Bottoms to that is just unacceptable. So help me welcome our next governor, the 84th.
And Kemp praising Jones, saying that as the conservative leader, he is best positioned to keep the governor's office in Republican hands. Now, we are currently in Alpharetta, and this is where about an hour or so ago we saw Rick Jackson take the stage. Texas Senator Ted Cruz flew in to campaign for him today to help rally the hundreds who were here for a campaign event for Jackson this afternoon. Now, during this event, Jackson did not make any comment or remark as to Kemp's endorsement of Jones in this race. He did speak highly of Kemp, as he has done throughout the race, and we do want to note that Kemp has said that he really thinks highly of both of these candidates, but he in fact did endorse over the weekend Jones. But let's hear from Jackson as far as what he has to say on the eve of Election Day.
Brian Kemp's built an incredible foundation and a promise to build on it and take Georgia to the next level. I will create more jobs that's ever been created in Georgia's history. And I'm so proud to receive the endorsement of Attorney General Chris Carr, who knows the type of leadership Georgia needs to continue the progress we've made under Governor Kemp.
And so we do expect that we will see some heavy turnout by Republicans in this race, as well as the U.S. Senate race tomorrow, as the Republicans are both in a runoff there. Those two high-profile races. The Democratic races on the other side have been already decided. Those nominees decided during the initial primary race. Now, as you said, Ariel, a lot of big news also in the U.S. Senate race, and we did have Governor Kemp, after he left Buckhead, he did head out to Chamblee, where he held a campaign rally for Derek Dooley, a rather news conference for Derek Dooley, and just talked about why he felt that Derek Dooley is the best person to take on John Ossoff in November, Senator Ossoff. And he said that, look, the fact that President Trump did throw his endorsement behind Representative Collins, he said that he didn't feel, in any particular way about it, that he was backing the candidate that he thought had the best chance of beating Keisha Lance Bottoms and continuing the Republicans on the current track that they are on under Governor Kemp, and Republicans sending the state, continuing to move it in the right direction, Ariel.
And it's incredible to see so much happening in our state and in our city, especially right now with Election Day tomorrow, the FIFA World Cup. It will be busy, no doubt. So just a good reminder for those on Election Day, if you're trying to get out and vote, to give yourself plenty of time, because there's going to be a lot going on in our city.
Absolutely, definitely. And just to make sure you double check as to where you are going to be voting tomorrow, if you have not early voted. And all of the candidates we heard from, and all of those who are out on their behalf, really stressing to their supporters that if they've already voted, to make sure that they call at least 10 people who they know who haven't voted, and to try to get them out tomorrow, Ariel.
Deidre, thanks so much for joining us live, explaining where things stand. I really appreciate it. As we continue, we'll see Deidre again later this evening. And as we continue, I want to tell you we're following the latest regarding that skydiving plane crash in Missouri. Absolutely tragic. After climbing to a height of roughly 100 feet in the air, this small plane came crashing down, killing the 11 passengers and one pilot on board. The tragedy happened shortly after takeoff in western Missouri Sunday. All 12 people on board a plane carrying skydivers have died, and the craft went down near the Butler Memorial Airport. The National Transportation Safety Board and the Federal Aviation Administration are handling the investigation. According to Butler Memorial Airport's acting manager, the craft was a private single-engine turboprop plane and was operated by Skydive Kansas City. FAA records indicate the plane was built in 2010, and after checking the area, including around the under the plane's flight path, first responders say they did not find anyone who may have tried to jump. This was something that you might expect, given this plane was a skydiving plane. Teams say it's critical that victims' families get the resources they need, as officials are seeking more answers in all of this. In a statement, Skydive Kansas City says it's working closely with local authorities, adding in part, quote, "This is a devastating loss for everyone connected to Skydive Kansas City and for the wider skydiving community. Our deepest sympathies are with the family, friends, and loved ones of all who were lost." I'd like to let you take a listen to Missouri Congressman and the Bates County Sheriff there in Missouri as they try to piece things together.
And you can never replace those lives, but we can tell their stories. You can tell their stories as you get to know the families and people out enjoying something that I think some of these were first-time skydivers preparing to skydive in a tandem formation. Not a lot of them, my understanding, were experienced, but just getting to enjoy God's green earth and then have something like this turn so tragic while potentially other family members were watching. It's tragic.
And hope that they can recover to some sense of normalcy if we can. So 911 call comes in, plane goes down. Obviously we start sending everybody, every fire department that's within 15 miles. We don't know what we're getting into. We don't know the type or the style of the plane initially. We get on scene, there is a fire, so the fire department goes to work. Law enforcement starts showing up. It absolutely is a call nobody wants to have on any day. And we just want to reassure the public that there's nothing criminal that we can see, nothing terrorism related or anything like that.
So we'll continue to keep you updated as police investigate this tragedy. In the meantime, as I take a look at my timing here, we're going to go out live here coming up next to Trilla Studios with our Eli Jordan. Going to see how many people might be out at a watch party as FIFA World Cup festivities continue. That is straight ahead. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstad. Thanks so much for being here on your Monday afternoon. Let's get out live to our Eli Jordan live at Trilla Studio. Eli, great to see you. I understand a watch party is underway. We have about 3 to 4 minutes. What's the vibe been like?
Hey, good afternoon, Ariel. Yes, well, all right, so noon today, it's Monday at noon, and it's not college football, so the crowd is what you expect. It was hardly anything that really, there's nobody here, but that, just as well, because storms that came through messed up the TV, but they got that fixed just in time. And people started coming out here, towards the end of the Spain-Cape Verde game, and started watching it, but now some people are starting to show up for the 3 p.m. game, and then we got the 6 o'clock game, and then we have the 9 o'clock game, and Trillith town at Trillith will be hosting watch parties all week long for all the games. But earlier this afternoon, I ran into somebody who came out here to watch their team, Cape Verde, make a tie, and actually it's a good tie and get some points. I spoke with Akeem Jamal, and here's how excited he was about the game today.
Oh my goodness, my goodness. My wife is from Boston, I'm from New York. To see this in Atlanta, to feel this in Atlanta, this is beautiful. This is what Atlanta is about. This is why we moved here. This is why we're here. Cape Verde got it, Atlanta got it, let's get it. It's a beautiful thing to bring this in Atlanta. Cape Verde wasn't supposed to make it, and they made it to the World Cup. This is the first time. My wife's Cape Verdean. My brother-in-law is Cape Verde. He's there right now. We wasn't supposed to make it. They said we was going to lose this one 6-0. We tied it up 0-0. We got some points. Go Cape Verde. Go Fogo Praia. Woo! Let's get it. That's what it is. That's why we're here. We're here. We're going to take it. We're going to win it. We're going to somehow win it. We're going to take it. We're going to take it. Fox 5, thank you. Thank you. Let's go.
All right, let's go. That's what it's all about. Akeem has got the spirit out here, and that's what it's all about, to see your team, who's unexpected, to win and then actually come back and do a lot better than they were supposed to and have a good tie. They scored some points with this, so they'll be, continue to advance. They did a lot better than they were expected to do. Cape Verde and his wife, who's a Cape Verdean, and his brother-in-law as well, who's also at the game. Akeem Jamal is a very happy person tonight, and so he enjoyed coming out here and watching the game at Trilith. And so you can do the same and root for your team all throughout the week. They're going to have games on out here, all the games on this week through Friday. So come on out, show up, an hour beforehand. The lawn opens up, but they'll have some stuff going on tonight, and people are showing up. So weather permitting, people will be out here at Trilith on the lawn. Ariel?
Eli, it's so exciting to see everybody representing their teams. His energy was just infectious. I'm glad that he was able to see his team score a couple goals, or at least make it to that draw. So, Eli, thanks so much for joining us live. I know you'll see you again here upcoming at 3. As we continue here, you guys, speaking of World Cup spirit and just everyone coming together in this way, let's take you up to Boston, because this is where a police officer joined in on some of the excitement. You may have seen this on TikTok. I know I did. This Boston police officer shows off his skills on the first day of the FIFA World Cup Fan Fest there in Boston. This is at City Hall Plaza there in Boston, and you can see people cheering that officer on after he started to show off his skills. He was able to juggle that soccer ball pretty well. The next FIFA game at Boston Stadium is going to be June 16th between Iraq and Norway, and that is tomorrow. I also want to let you know about something happening in the business world, and that is we are expecting the Fox Corporation to become a part, or rather a streaming giant to become part of a media conglomerate, in the sense that the Fox Corporation is going to be buying streaming company Roku. It'll pay about $160 a share, and it's a deal worth around $22 billion, including debt. Fox chief executive Lachlan Murdoch says this is going to bring together, quote, the most valuable live content portfolio and video consumption with the preeminent video streaming platform. Now, keep in mind, more than 100 million global households stream with Roku. I know a lot of you watch us here, Fox Local, on Roku. The deal is going to require approval from regulators. And in a statement, Fox says this acquisition is going to make it the 3rd largest player in United States television by a share of viewing. So this is big news in the streaming and entertainment space. So Fox will have, Fox Corporation is the parent company of Fox News, and they're going to have Tubi and Roku as their streaming services. So here real quickly, as we get ready for 3 o'clock, Tom Haynes, what are we looking at?
I was just checking the Roku share price. I understand the stock's going out of control. I love this merger because everything is moving to streaming, and it makes complete sense that Fox and Roku would merge to be able to offer and deliver more content through our streaming platforms. So this is a win-win for both companies. Ariel, we're live at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's game 1, at least for Atlanta, FIFA World Cup soccer, and we're down there with live coverage. We're going to hit that coming up here at the top of the hour in just a couple of seconds, so don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
Awesome. You guys, thanks so much. The 3 o'clock's about to start.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. I'm your host, Tom Haynes, live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. Buckle up. We got a huge hour of news to get to. We're so glad you're with us this afternoon as we get you caught up on everything that is happening on this Monday afternoon. We're going to begin at the center of the universe, at least here in Atlanta, with a live look at Mercedes-Benz Stadium right now. And that is Game 1. And we're considering a Game 1, even though the World Cup is already kicked off. But here in Atlanta, anyway, as you take a live look where Mercedes-Benz Stadium has been transformed into Atlanta Stadium, a global celebration. Our city hosting its first ever FIFA World Cup match today between Spain and Cabo Verde. Thousands of fans from around the world are packing inside that stadium and in surrounding Centennial Olympic Park and filling local restaurants. This is the first of 8 matches which will be played here in our city. Let's get out live to Tyler Fingert, who is out in the middle of the action there. Tyler, looks like you have a lot of people behind you watching Game 1 here in Atlanta. What's going on?
Yeah, Tom, good afternoon to you. If there was any question whether Atlanta was ready for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, we got our answer today. I mean, just look around. You can see the celebration is still going strong here, even though the match ended just about an hour ago. Fans are still gathered outside Atlanta Stadium, taking photos, waving flags, and soaking in the day that they have been waiting for. And what a match they got. Cabo Verde came into this game as a heavy underdog against one of the world's soccer powers in Spain, but somehow they left with a stunning draw that feels like a win for many of their supporters. But honestly, the score almost feels secondary to the atmosphere here today. This was about more than just 90 minutes of soccer. It was about thousands of people from different countries, different languages, and different cultures coming together in one place. You hear chants coming from every direction, and everywhere you look, people are smiling. In fact, don't take my word for it. Take a listen to what it sounded like out here as fans celebrated Atlanta's first ever World Cup match.
Everybody was there for a reason. We were all there, no matter where we came from, what country we supported. We were all there cheering for the World Cup. So, I mean, it wasn't really Cabo Verde versus Spain. We were all there enjoying the game. And, I mean, that's what the World Cup does, right? So, it was very, very nice.
It's amazing. We suffer a little bit. They give us 1% of chance to win this game, but we show to the world we are strong.
The atmosphere was like, it was really good. It, like, all the Cabo Verde fans were like crazy, and the Spain fans were like also like really good, and yeah, it's really loud in there.
You could hear there has not ended yet. People are still down in the fan zone just beyond where we are right now. It's normally the Home Depot backyard. It's been transformed into a fantastic fan experience, different than the fan festival over at Centennial Olympic Park. But I'll tell you, people are just super excited. And if this is any indication for what we can expect over the next few weeks, I think the next 7 matches we have here in Atlanta are just going to be huge, and the excitement is only going to grow, Tom.
I love it. I love the fans there at the stadium. And it's incredible how many people are coming here, Tyler, from around the world, as you just demonstrated, especially from Spain. Remember, our Kevin Stewart was at the airport greeting the flights as they came in from Madrid and Barcelona, all for this kickoff game of FIFA World Cup. And as you said, boy, it has gone off without a hitch so far. Tyler Fingert live in the middle of the action down at Centennial this afternoon for us. Tyler, thanks so much. Now, over the city for watch parties everywhere. The events brought soccer fans from different cultures and different places, not only from around Metro Atlanta, but all over our state and, frankly, from around the country and around the world. Let's get out to our Angelique Proctor live at One Fan Zone. I believe you're in 5 Points, Angelique, or correct me if I'm wrong. Where are you and what's it like there?
Good afternoon to you. We are in downtown Atlanta, Peachtree Street of all places. This is the heart and soul of our city, and you can see lots of fans are heading out of the stadium back to their hotels, back to spots to grab something to eat. Lots of fanfare going on. Things are really running smoothly as they were scheduled to do. In fact, one business owner described it to us earlier as feeling more like a holiday, like Christmas around downtown Atlanta. There are no traffic problems. There appear to be no parking problems, and we see police officers everywhere. The weather really cooperated for this first match as tens of thousands of people made their way into downtown to enjoy this energy that my colleague Tyler Finkert was just talking about, that is FIFA World Cup. In fact, most people are describing it as the best place on earth here. Lots of people riding MARTA, lots of people taking scooters, and we've seen a whole lot of bicycles to get where they need to go. Many of our visitors say they're just really enjoying our city. Now, we talked to what's called a pedicab who came in from Orlando to get in on the FIFA Atlanta action. Take a listen.
It's been a beautiful day. The weather's beautiful. It's like perfect for today. The festivities are nice. I came a little late, but we're still enjoying the day.
Are you seeing a lot of international visitors? Were you out here yesterday?
I wasn't out here yesterday, but today there's been a lot of international visitors. Yeah, loads of international visitors.
What countries are you say?
I've seen a lot of Spain jerseys. I've seen some Mexico jerseys. I've seen people putting on for USA. Seen a lot of Messi, whether it's the Argentina, the Spain. So yeah, it's just a lot of different countries putting on. I've seen a group of people putting on super good for like Cabo Verde. They had flags and everything. So that was kind of cool because I know like everybody's mostly here for Spain, but it was cool to see the underdog get and put on for.
How significant is this for the city of Atlanta?
This is huge. This is huge for America in general. I think they said like last time it was like 1972. So yeah, this is huge for America, period, for the World Cup. This is beautiful. It does feel like a holiday. It's like, almost like Christmas. Everybody's happy. Everybody's cheerful, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's like less traffic than usual.
Yeah, I think it's because they got a lot of the roads blocked off. I think a lot of people are also coming on the train. So like they're coming from like outskirts and they're just coming on the train because they already know traffic's going to be crazy.
Now, Tom, if you don't know what a pedicab is, he is a bicycle that pulls up to 6 people. He says he's having a great day out here, and he talked about how the weather is really so nice because he's having to pull a lot of hills. He said that Atlanta was a lot more hilly than Orlando, where he normally works his bicycle. But a lot of people came in from Atlanta that wanted to get down here and be part of this action. They want to go to the restaurants and feel that FIFA feeling. And so we've talked to a lot of locals as well. We'll be hearing from them during the remainder of the day.
Can I just say, Angelique, and it's just an observance. You don't have to say anything. If you want to, that's fine too. But how beautiful, not only you look, but that scene behind you in downtown Atlanta. Our streets are sparkling. The city is glowing. The weather is fantastic.
Tom, you are so right, and we've got to credit those volunteers, hundreds of them, who clean the streets. He's talking about how beautiful the streets look, and they're just glistening with people, and everybody seems to have a smile on their face. We are so proud. This is an incredible moment for the city of Atlanta. For the next month, it doesn't stop here. It continues.
Yeah, I love it. Great reporting out there, Angelique, showing how our city is putting its best foot forward. Angelique Proctor, thanks so much. Want to head from Atlanta to Los Angeles, where another huge match is going down. Iran in the United States. Geez, there's been a ton of controversy between the United States and Iran as we try to settle the conflict between us and the situation brewing in the Middle East. And now that team is here to play. Let's get out to Rebecca Castor live in Los Angeles in front of the stadium there. Rebecca, talk to us about the circumstances surrounding this match and the energy out there in Los Angeles.
Yeah, hey Tom, a lot of people might not know this, but Los Angeles is actually home to the largest population of Iranians outside Iran. It's even nicknamed Tehrangeles, and it's because a lot of people moved here after the Islamic Revolution. We spoke to a lot of Iranian American soccer fans over the weekend, and they told us there were a lot of mixed feelings about who to cheer for this World Cup. Some of them are supporting the Iranian team. They're excited to see these players play for the first time on U.S. soil in over 26 years. Really significant that they were allowed in the country and are participating in this World Cup. But others say, you know, they're not too happy that Iran is here. They're not going to cheer for them because they do see them as an extension of the regime, and they don't want them to be victorious on the world stage. So a lot of complicated feelings for many of the Iranian Americans living here in L.A. ahead of tonight's match.
And you know, Rebecca, it's interesting. You mentioned the fact that there are a lot of Iranians in Los Angeles. We saw that on display when the United States first went into Iran. The large demonstrations out there on the streets among Iranians who call Los Angeles home in support of the United States operation over there. I'm just wondering if you've seen that kind of so far, and I know that they don't play until tonight, but that kind of energy and how Iranians who are living here in the United States and who support freedom for that country are reconciling supporting their team and yet being against the regime that's currently in place there.
Yeah, a lot of the Iranian Americans that we spoke with over the weekend are extremely skeptical and hesitant about this peace deal that is brewing. The contents of it haven't really been released in detail, so they are unsure if this is really going to usher in a new era for their country, and that is what they wanted. That is why they were supporting the U.S. at the start of this war. Now, you know, nearly 3 months later, are they going to get the result that they were hoping for? That remains to be seen. In regards to cheering for Iran tonight, it was interesting because the opinions really differed whether you were talking to an older Iranian American or a younger Iranian American. A lot of the younger adults who haven't lived in Iran, have never even been able to go there because of the political turmoil, and they were raised here in the U.S. A lot of them are cheering for Iran. Politics aside, they want to take pride in their home country and cheer on these players that have made it to the highest level of their sport.
Yeah, that's all they're there to do is play and win. And so it's this dynamic will be very interesting to watch play out tonight, and I'm sure you'll be observing the enthusiasm among Iranians who call the United States home. Rebecca Castor live for us in Los Angeles, watching the action out there for us. Rebecca, thanks. There's a lot locally happening here in our neck of the woods that we want to kind of shift gears and talk about here. A lot going on in terms of an investigation that is underway right now after a man was struck and killed at a northbound MARTA train track at the Civic Center station on Saturday. Now, transit police are saying that the man entered the trackway alone just before 11 o'clock in the morning. Surveillance video shows that he was actively trying to climb back onto the northbound platform when the train operator spotted him but could not stop him in time. Emergency crews cut power to the station and extricated the man, but he died from his injuries at the scene. Detectives confirmed there's no indication of foul play. The man's identity hasn't been released yet, but when this happened, you know, there was a collective sigh because, you know, we have the World Cup games here. We're just, you know, praying that everything is going to be safe on MARTA, especially given the couple of incidences, that one fatal stabbing incident on board the train, which happened several weeks ago. And now that we have our global audience here in town, we're hoping and praying for things to go smoothly on MARTA. So it looks like this situation was independent of any sort of criminal activity that may have happened, and that this man just somehow wound up down on the MARTA track some way, somehow. But unfortunately, that wound up in his death. A Clayton County death investigation is underway after a retired Atlanta police officer was found dead in his own driveway Saturday morning. First responders found 61-year-old James Edward Sinkfield unresponsive outside of a home on Upper Riverdale Road. Singfield also served as a campus police officer at Fort Valley State and mentored local youth. Relatives say that Singfield was healthy and active, and they're demanding answers after discovering blood throughout the house. Police haven't released a cause of death or confirmed if they suspect foul play.
They were well known in the Atlanta community. The Carey Mathematics Center off Campbellton Road. He spent countless of hours teaching, mentoring kids about math problems and everyday problems that occurred in Atlanta. A great uncle, a great cousin, loved by many, and very hated by few. He was well, healthy. He's around 61, 62 years old. He's fully active. He was a current police officer at Fort Valley State.
Now, the investigation remains active right now as authorities work to piece together a timeline of exactly what happened. A Gwinnett County man will spend the rest of his life behind bars for the horrific abuse and murder of his children. A jury found 51-year-old William McHugh guilty of felony murder, rape, and incest. A judge sentenced him to multiple consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Prosecutors say that this systematic torture came to light back in 2022 after a fatal Loganville house fire killed his 10-year-old daughter, who was locked inside of a bathroom. Investigators revealed the couple's 15-year-old son intentionally started the fire to escape the constant abuse. McHugh's wife previously pled guilty and was sentenced to 90 years in prison. So a horrific story there. As we continue, we're going to continue to check on activities outside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Let's take that live shot once more. The stadium aglow on what is a spectacular way to kick off the work week and to kick off our World Cup games here in Atlanta. And we did just that today. As Angelique Proctor mentioned just a couple of minutes ago in her live reporting, the city is electric and glowing, and the weather is no exception. Remember how hot it was just a couple of days ago? Boy, it couldn't be better today. Meteorologist Greg Majeski is going to be along in just a couple of minutes to talk about whether this spectacular weather is going to last throughout our work week when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. Tom Haynes, live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. You're looking live at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on day one of our games for FIFA World Cup, which concluded about a couple of hours ago. But we were out there as fans were pouring around the bends to cheer on what was a great start to our 8 FIFA World Cup games here in Atlanta. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, or should I say Atlanta Stadium, looking fantastic as we bring you to the Experience Center there around the... What not only a great day to go down and experience all this, as the weather is just so nice outside, but a great venue that has been built. Look at the size of that monitor where you can go down and watch the games. If you're not able to get into the stadium, you can experience it among other soccer fans. They got vendors set up out there to eat and drink and be part of this wonderful FIFA World Cup experience here in Atlanta. I want to touch on some international news. You know, President Trump is over at the G7 summit right now, talking to European leaders and leaders of the 7 most industrialized and powerful nations. The president says that a peace deal has been reached with Iran and plans are in place to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, but it's still not clear if both countries are on the same page. The president arriving in Europe Monday to meet with world leaders of the G7, just hours after agreeing with Iran to extend the ceasefire for 60 days and reopen the strait. Now we're learning more about the details of that agreement. Iran says it will work with the international community to verify it is not building a nuclear weapon, and in exchange, it will receive sanction relief and have its international funds unfrozen.
Sir, are you going to try to attend the signing ceremony on Friday?
Well, it depends. JD's coming in for it. He was originally going to do it. I'll probably be gone by then. We're having dinner in a day and a half, right? We're going to be staying quite late. So I may be involved, I may not. But JD was coming in for that specifically.
Mr. President, when will the text of the MOU be released?
I think pretty soon. I would say, I want it to be released because it's a very powerful document. It's not like the Obama document, which was just a terrible document. This is a very powerful document, and I want it to be released. So probably pretty soon. I would say sometime after Friday, because the strait opens completely. It's open now, but it opens completely. We'll have all the mines knocked out for the most part. We have a lot of lanes right now already.
Mr. President.
So I think sometime in the very near future, yeah.
Mr. President, does the deal involve any sanctions relief for Iran? When would that go into effect?
No, it doesn't. Well, they have to. It's really a behavioral thing. If they do what they're supposed to do, that starts taking effect.
Monsieur Macron, quel engagement êtes-vous prêt à prendre au nom de la France dans le détroit d'Ormuz? Vous avez parlé du porte-avions Charles de Gaulle. Mr. President, what do you expect from France and
well, I would love them to do that. I don't think we're going to need much help because we have an agreement where it's going to be open, and it's toll-free. We had a little argument on that. It's toll-free. So I don't think we're going to need much help, but I don't think it's a bad idea to have a ship or two up here from a few countries. You'd be a great country to do it because you never know what happens, but I think it's going to be open, and I think it's going to be free sailing. We do want to see if we can straighten out the Lebanon thing, because it just seems to just never end. And that's a mini version of what we were doing, and it should not be tough. It should not be tough. So Hezbollah, we have to have a little talk with them.
All right, so President Trump, the French President Emmanuel Macron, they are meeting in France for the G7 summit. It was interesting, if you were kind of listening along with me, the reporter asked the president, will you be at the signing ceremony on Friday? This agreement that the United States and Iran entered into is going to be ratified on Friday, and wouldn't it be something if, you never know with Trump, okay? He says, I don't think I'm going to be there because I'm already going to be on my way home, but the president's been known to surprise people, and if this deal is what he thinks and hopes it is, and if the Iranians are as serious as they say they are, I mean, I wouldn't put it past Trump to show up at this thing, but we'll have to wait and see. He could send one of his proxies, the vice president or the secretary of state, to be there as our emissary as well. But it shall be interesting to watch how this unfolds come Friday. As we shift gears big time, want to talk to meteorologist Greg Majeski about our weather outside. And Greg, take a look at this with me.
It's been a great day. We got more humidity.
I mean, did you set up this weather to welcome in the FIFA games here in Atlanta?
I wish I could repeat it for Thursday, though.
It is so well, let's just relish this moment for a second,
today.
all right?
Yeah, it's not bad
because it's not 98 degrees outside. We're not touching triple digits the way we did toward the end of last week. It couldn't be more beautiful.
It's great. We had very rarely do you get cold fronts to move through North Georgia in June. They do happen every now and then. We had one, and the dew point, the measure of moisture in the air, which was sitting in the low to mid 70s, has dropped down to the low 60s, so it's much more comfortable outside. The thing that we're going to be watching this week, though, is has to do with how much moisture we're going to get coming out with a potential tropical system out of the Western Gulf, which has gone up to just updated to potential 50% for development. Maybe we get a weak depression or maybe a weak tropical storm, which would be Arthur. And its moisture is slated to come up our way sometime Thursday, Friday, which of course has a big impact on our drought monitor, which has seen substantial improvements over the last several weeks and will continue to go down. And the question will be, how much more rain do we get this upcoming week? So now we've had some abrupt changes in a lot of the short-term modeling, and I know this is a little bit aggravating. It's more aggravating for us weather guys than for you guys at home. Right now the radar is clear. Tomorrow's going to be a different ball game. Tomorrow's going to be very weird because we got rain. We know it's coming. South side, I'm very like Noonan, LaGrange, Thompson, Macon, Eatonton, area, south of 20, looking pretty good. How much further north does that rain get into North Georgia? That's the question mark I got for tomorrow. So it's going to be one of those days. But the rain chances in Atlanta shoots up to 80%. But let's put it this way: like Blairsville, it's not 80%. Okay, it's not even close. So again, we got a spike in the rain for tomorrow. And what's been happening is we've not been getting as many balloon releases in the west. And it's been having an impact on our modeling because there's been a lot of flip-flopping here on short-term range models. Have been a pain here recently.
Okay, can you translate that into English for us? What is a balloon release?
The National Weather Service, they launch balloons, all across the United States to get an idea of what's going on in the atmosphere above it. And all that data gets ingested into these supercomputers that kick out our forecast models. So if the data is incomplete, guess what? Your modeling is incomplete. So you're going to get, you might get one big deviation from the next. So now the rain chances on Thursday and Friday are going to be really dependent on if we get something tropical develop. Because once we get something tropical, you got a low level circulation, you got something the models to lock in on, you got National Hurricane Center data coming up from hurricane flights, then we can get a better idea of the track. Because if it stays south, we don't get as much rain. If it comes further north, we get a lot of it. It's just one of those things we got to stay tuned this week to kind of watch what goes on here. So the rest of today is looking great. Going out for tonight, mostly cloudy skies, temperatures of 70s, at least the dew points are comfortable. Not bad out there for today. And again, we're going to have a kind of a roller coaster with the temperatures here a little bit. I revised the high down for tomorrow to 78 just because of the cloud cover and the rain. That was a big change from this morning. It looked like we were getting the low 80s. Now it's down to 78. So definitely a bit on the wet side here as we go to Thursday and Friday. The weekend's not bad, but this is showing rain pretty much sweeping all across North Georgia there. So and then maybe just a spotty shower on Wednesday. So best rain chances, at least the short term, is for tomorrow. And then Wednesday we back off, and then we got a question mark, watch and see what happens with that tropical stuff going into Thursday and Friday. So again, these temperatures probably going to come up a little bit short than what was forecasted for today. I know Atlanta, Hartsville, Jackson, the warmest I've seen so far is 81. So within 3 degrees is close, but I think we're a little bit cooler there up to the north. So again, we're going to see that roller coaster with the temperatures, a high rain chance there where the temperature's still going up. So it's going to be kind of muggy, juicy. You notice the lows going back up in the 70s. So yeah, we're getting back up there again. So and then the weekend again, not looking bad. Saturday's looking pretty good. Maybe an isolated storm on Sunday, but Thursday and Friday, that's the 2 days we got to watch this week.
Yeah, we're going to get wet this week.
Yeah, looking
for
sure.
sure.
I know we got the next FIFA get marches on Thursday, so yeah, I would say any fans in town, make sure you got your rain gear with you.
The way FIFA fans are, and if they want to, they don't care. They'll put the raincoats on. They'll be out there watching that big screen.
Oh yeah, they'll watch it.
Nothing wrong with a rainy day.
But today was a great day for the opening round, and what a game that was. I mean, the smallest nation in the World Cup,
and then big Spain
going against Spain, and I saw all the precautionaries were going out like 7-0, 5-0, all that stuff, and it was a tie.
Yes, it was.
And then Spain tried to put their big boys in at the end, and it was too late.
But I was watching some of the game on our broadcast network, Fox 5. We're always streaming here because we want to pump out as much content and information for folks who aren't watching the game.
Right.
So this is your home if you're not doing that. But I was watching. What a crowd and excitement!
Oh yeah, it's the energy. It's
so exciting to see.
Yeah, it's great. It's just amazing to see that something like this is here in Atlanta. I was actually overseas when it was at Qatar. I was actually deployed in the Middle East at the time. So,
really?
Yeah. So it was a big deal over there at that time too.
All right, Greg, thanks so much. Okay. We know you've been watching the rain this week.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk about some local news making headlines today, and there is a huge recall that we want to tell you about. This involving some infant baby formula. It's Nara Organics because of a potential bacteria contamination. The Food and Drug Administration says that Nara Organics company is voluntarily recalling all lots of its powdered infant formula. So if you use this at home, and this is the product that you buy for your infant, check it out, okay? Because they're doing this out of, quote, an abundance of caution over potential contamination. The products could have a colostrum botulinum toxin bacteria in them, which the FCA could cause weakness, difficulty swallowing, or respiratory arrests in infants. The FDA says that there have been 3 cases of infant botulism so far. Infants who the Center for Disease Control and Prevention reported had consumed Nara formula. The FDA says that there have been no reported deaths, and Nara infant formula has not tested positive for colostrum botulinum to date. The products were sold at Target stores, Target's website, and Nara's website between July 2025 and June, like this month, 2026. The FDA says that consumers should immediately stop using the infant formula and contact your healthcare provider immediately if your baby is showing any symptoms. A surge in global demand for more protein is bringing a shortage of a key protein ingredient. Whey protein, a byproduct of some dairy processes like cheese making, is being added more frequently into food products such as breakfast cereals, snacks, and drinks to meet growing protein demand, and that's leading to a less whey availability. Whey protein concentrate is used by athletes and older adults to help build muscle. Wholesale prices for whey protein began rising in 2024 and accelerated in 2025 this year. Whey protein concentrate with 80% protein is trading at more than $13 a pound on the commodities market, up 250% over a year ago. When we come back, there's an investigation underway in Atlanta over a 12-year-old boy that was shot and hospitalized. Police asking for your help, and our reporter Annie Mapp is out there tracking the very latest on the investigation as we continue. Welcome back, everybody. So glad you're streaming with us on this Monday afternoon. I'm Tom Haines with you live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. Appreciate you watching on our free mobile app, Fox Local. It's always the place to be. Or if you're watching us on one of our social media platforms at Fox 5 Atlanta, places like YouTube, TikTok. We're always reading through your comments on the stories we're talking about. Or we're on the radio. I don't know if you knew that, but 107.9 HD2 FM is where you can listen to us. So happy you're here if you're driving around in the car or listening to us there. Appreciate it. Welcome to you on this Monday. I want to talk about a police investigation now surrounding the shooting of a 12-year-old innocent child, now hospitalized. Investigators say the child was not the intended target when that gunfire erupted Friday evening on Windsor Street, but now there is an investigation underway. I want to get out to our Annie Map, tracking the search for the shooters, and has the latest update for us today. Annie?
Hey, Tom. Good afternoon. Atlanta police are now looking for several suspects after that 12-year-old boy was shot last Friday evening. Take a good look at these images that they released just earlier today. Authorities say the men pictured are suspects in the shooting. Police believe these men ran from the area after the crime. Now, according to police, the 12-year-old shot was here at Rosa L. Birney Park when he was struck by gunfire. Police believe the child was not the intended target of the shooter. Officers got to the scene and found the young boy alert and conscious. What led to the gunfire is unknown, but neighbors tell us there were other children at the park when the crime happened. Take a listen at what one person said.
It just shakes up your core a little bit. You know, it's sad that our young people don't see a reason to actually live.
Now, the condition of that 12-year-old victim is currently unknown. Again, police are asking anyone who may know the people in those photos to please come forward. There are ways to submit tips anonymously also, Tom, through Crime Stoppers.
You're reporting here and the comments of that one gentleman you spoke to. These kind of stories where a child winds up in the crossfire, or worse yet, a child is killed as the result of wayward gunfire. It's even happened when the child is sitting in their own home and in their own bedroom. That's happened. Stories we've reported on before. Victims of senseless gunfire. These kids running around shooting at each other. This is no exception, but this is exactly the kind of story that makes a community like the one you're in now so outraged.
Yeah, people are concerned again, especially due to other children being in the park. This happening at a time where it was still light outside. This is near a center where there is day camp going on for the summer, where several children are attending. So there are concerns. And as you mentioned, Tom, this isn't the first incident of this sort that we have seen. We just saw where another teen was shot and killed in Atlanta yesterday as well. So there are concerns in the community, and people are demanding change in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's outrageous and frustrating. We're just glad that the 12-year-old we're talking about in this case is recovering, and the worst didn't happen to him. Annie Mapp live for us this afternoon with the investigation into whoever shot those bullets. Annie, thanks so much. Tomorrow's a big day. It's June 16th, which is our runoff election here in Georgia. And voters are going to be headed to the polls to cast their ballots for the candidates that didn't quite make it over the 50+1 magic number to avoid a runoff. Perhaps the highest profile race is the race for governor. And those are the two candidates running. Georgia voters are headed to polls tomorrow to settle this high-profile primary runoff. All eyes on that Republican runoff for governor and U.S. Senate. In the GOP governor's race, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones faces businessman Rick Jackson. Meanwhile, U.S. Representative Mike Collins battles former coach Derek Dooley for the chance to challenge Senator John Ossoff in November. Elections officials report nearly 483,000 early and absentee ballots have already been cast. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So we're going to be on. So here's the deal. We got soccer on Fox 5. That's the broadcast channel here. But we're going to have soccer on for a good part of tomorrow. And you're going to be wondering, like, what's going on with the election? You know where you're going to go? Right here to Fox Local, because we're going to be talking about it really nonstop throughout the night here on Fox Local. We're going to have live guests in studio. We're going to be tracking county by county how these votes are coming in, and you will know the instant a call is made if you keep it here and stream with us here tomorrow night as all of this happens. Governor Brian Kemp officially endorsing Burt Jones in the high-stakes GOP primary runoff. In a statement Sunday, Kemp praised Jones as a trusted conservative partner who helped secure historic tax cuts and teacher pay raises. Jones secured the top spot in the primary, but fell short of the 50% threshold needed to win outright. He faces healthcare billionaire Rick Jackson, as I mentioned, in this critical runoff election. Kemp also takes aim at the Democrats, warning voters that nominee Keisha Lance Bottoms has a record of failure as the former mayor of Atlanta. The winner of tomorrow's Republican contest will advance to face Bottoms in the November general election. Speaking of Rick Jackson, he had a high-profile guest in town. He had got an endorsement of his own today in the form of Texas Senator Ted Cruz ahead of tomorrow's critical runoff election. The healthcare billionaire was joined on the stage by Cruz. Cruz rallied conservative voters in support of Jackson, who's pitching himself as the political outsider, ready to bring fresh leadership to the state. The last-minute push comes just one day after Governor Kemp made that endorsement announcement of Burt Jones. Jones insists his business background is exactly, or Jackson rather, insists his business background is exactly what the state needs.
Brian Kemp's built an incredible foundation and a promise to build on it and take Georgia to the next level. I will create more jobs that's ever been created in Georgia's history. And I'm so proud to receive the endorsement of Attorney General Chris Carr, who knows the type of leadership Georgia needs to continue the progress we've made under Governor Kemp.
This election is all about turnout tomorrow. So I want to ask every person here to come out tomorrow and vote for Rick Jackson 10 times. Now, hold on. I am not advocating voter fraud. Although I saw 2 reporters pull out their notepads in the back and say, "Oh, urging a felony from the stage. This is good." Now, let me tell you how you can do that. Number 1, you make sure you vote. How many of y'all have already voted for Rick? That's what I figured. You know what that means? You got time on your hands. So every one of you, when you leave here today, pull out your phone and scroll through your contacts. And I want you to find 9 people that you can send a text to today. Send a text to your next door neighbor. Send a text to your coworker.
All right, that's Texas Senator Ted Cruz here voting, campaigning rather, for gubernatorial candidate Rick Jackson. That runoff election is here, coverage right here on Fox Local throughout the night. A tragedy in Missouri as a skydiving plane crashes, killing 12 people on board that flight. This small plane crashing in western Missouri Sunday. The private single-engine turboprop carrying skydivers and operated by Skydive Kansas City when it went down near Butler Memorial Airport. Congressman Mark Alford says some were first-time skydivers preparing for a tandem jump. Boy, that is just so tragic to hear. You're a first-time skydiver. You're so excited to go up and jump for the first time. You're tied to your tandem skydive expert, and the worst happens. First responders reported there was a fire on the scene, but confirmed no one attempted to jump from the craft before impact. The Bates County Sheriff says that investigators see no signs of criminal activity or terrorism.
And you can never replace those lives, but We can tell their stories. You can tell their stories as you get to know the families and people out enjoying something that I think some of these were first-time skydivers preparing to skydive in a tandem formation. Not a lot of them, my understanding, were experienced, but just getting to enjoy God's green earth and then have something like this turn so tragic while potentially other family members were watching. It's tragic.
And hope that they can recover to some sense of normalcy if we can. So 911 call comes in, plane goes down. Obviously we start sending everybody, every fire department that's within 15 miles. We don't know what we're getting into. We don't know the type or the style of the plane initially. We get on scene, there is a fire, so the fire department goes to work. Law enforcement starts showing up. It absolutely is a call nobody wants to have on any day. And we just want to reassure the public that there's nothing criminal that we can see, nothing terrorism related or anything like that.
All right, so the NTSB is going to come in and investigate this crash. In a statement, the company Skydive Kansas City came out and said that it is devastated and expressed the deepest sympathies to the families. Obviously, they will cooperate with NTSB investigators as this investigation into what happened continues to unfold. 2 helicopters have collided over Rio de Janeiro, killing all 6 people on board the 2 aircraft. Local authorities say that a passenger list shows American singer Oliver Tree was on board one of the choppers, but his body was not immediately identified following the crash. Tree was in South America for his world tour and recently posted videos on social media of himself in Brazil. Rio de Janeiro's military fire department says that one of its helicopters crashed into the parking lot of a car dealership where several electric vehicles were parked, setting off a fire. Officials say an investigation is underway to determine the exact cause of that fire. Model and creator of the TV show America's Next Top Model, Tyra Banks, is suing Netflix over a docuseries about the show. Banks has filed a defamation lawsuit against Netflix and the directors of Reality Check Inside America's Next Top Model. The lawsuit claims that Banks was interviewed for 3.5 hours, which included her taking responsibility for some of the show's most controversial decisions. The lawsuit also states her interviews were manipulated after being edited down to 16 minutes to, quote, support a false and defamatory narrative unrelated to what she actually expressed. Netflix did not immediately respond to that lawsuit. All right, we're going to continue our coverage of the World Cup excitement around our city and head to the Trilith Watch Party, where the action is still underway. We're going to check in live with our reporter Eli Jordan, who is in the middle of all the action, when we come back. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. I'm your host, Tom Haines. We've been watching the watch parties all over our city, and we're live at the Trilith watch party, where the energy was pretty outstanding today, given, Eli, that this was our first match of 8 here in Atlanta. And these watch parties, they're happening all over town. Tell us about the one you're at.
Hey, Tom. Yeah, well, you know, first watch party of the Atlanta game, first game in Atlanta, 12 noon on a Monday. Well, and if it's not college football, you're not going to get that big of a crowd out here. And there wasn't too big of a crowd out here, but this past weekend they had a huge crowd. But it's probably just as well, though, because the storms we had last night kind of knocked their big screen TV out for a little bit, but they got that fixed. But here at Trilith, town at Trilith, they're going to be hosting all the games this week. You can come out starting at noon, the 3 o'clock game, the 6 o'clock game, the 9 o'clock game, 4 games, whatever, you know, the maximum. They got 5 games on some days, but they're going to be airing all the games out here all week this week. But watching today's game that was played in Atlanta, Spain versus Cape Verde, we had a Cape Verde fan. It was Akeem Jamal, and here's what he had to say about the game today.
Oh my goodness, my goodness. My wife is from Boston, I'm from New York. To see this in Atlanta, to feel this in Atlanta, this is beautiful. This is what Atlanta is about. This is why we moved here. This is why we're here. Cape Verde got it, Atlanta got it, let's get it. It's a beautiful thing to bring this in Atlanta. Cape Verde wasn't supposed to make it, and they made it to the World Cup. This is the first time. My wife's Cape Verdean. My brother-in-law is Cape Verde. He's there right now. We wasn't supposed to make it. They said we was going to lose this one 6-0. We tied it up 0-0. We got some points. Go Cape Verde. Go Fogo Praia. Woo! Let's get it. That's what it is. That's why we're here. We're here. We're going to take it. We're going to win it. We're going to somehow win it. We're going to take it. We're going to take it. Fox 5, thank you. Thank you. Let's go.
Oh yeah, you got to love that enthusiasm. I think we'll see more of that growing as the weeks go on and as more games are being played, and we can start seeing how the games are lining up. But Akeem right there and his wife being a Cape Verdean and his brother-in-law as well at the game, he was extremely excited. The most excitement we've seen out here all day. I was surprised to see someone actually rooting for one of those teams and not being at the game. So it was refreshing to see Akeem out here really excited about Cape Verde having a good tie. And I think that's something that Americans that aren't familiar with football or soccer is a tie can be a good win for you. We're not used to ties, and you know, knowing college football and NFL football, we don't have ties in those games anymore. And you know, the excitement is beginning to grow. I think Atlanta's going to start realizing what they have. They have a game, you know, several games, 8 games. Each game's going to bring in over 175 million viewers worldwide. That's over 50 million viewers than the Super Bowl has. And so we're basically having 8 events larger than the Super Bowl each time here in Atlanta. So get ready, Atlanta. It's just now kicking off, Tom.
So that guy needs to be the head of the pep rallies where you are at Trilith.
Oh yeah.
He needs to be up on stage.
I was
rallying the crowd. I mean, he's got the energy. He's got the excitement.
He got my attention. I was editing, and I heard some woot woot, and I was like, I need to go interview him. He's got something invested in this game, and yeah, he definitely needs to be part of the pep rally around here for the soccer games. But yeah, he made me excited for Cape Verde.
Great place to watch the game out there at Trilith. Eli Jordan in the middle of it all. Eli, thanks. And thank you for joining us here for the 3 p.m. streaming hour on Fox Local. I'm your host, Tom Haines. We're going to keep rolling here, so don't go anywhere. The news continues right here, right now.